we definitely don't want. Whoa.
Joking.
Did I do something? I feel like the only time I was like pretty hot was the JJK moment, but aside from that, I've been
Nah, I'm just
pretty
joking
okay.
with you.
JJK moment. What happened there?
I mean, I don't know if I upset anyone, but I basically said I don't give an F about JJK anymore, thanks to all the spoilers.
So I'm
Valid. I
over it.
feel. I feel.
Still a lot to look forward to. That's just me, though.
Danny is the
keep my mind
ultimate
open.
apologist, bro.
I will keep my mind open to it.
So you haven't read it, like the
I have
rest
not.
of it? Oh,
No. I've seen so many spoilers though that I'm just like,
You're like
what's
you already
the
felt
point?
like you read it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Got you.
I'm the ultimate apologist for series who like deserve like a chance.
I mean, but like at some point, like you've seen enough shonen, bro, that like you should know better in regards to a standard.
I mean, every series is a bit different. Like you can't like keep them at like the same standards. So long as they're not like Fast and Furious bad, then like I think we're okay.
You don't think JJK is Fast and Furious bad?
No, Solo Leveling is.
What? Oh,
I've always said that. Solo Leveling is the Fast and Furious of
wait.
anime.
Yo, you saw
Really?
Yeah, no, 100%. I've always said this. Like, don't expect, like, when you go into a Fast and Furious movie, I am not expecting anything from the plot, the acting, the characters, no twit, like whatever. It's gonna be. I'm just here for a good time, and it looks cool. Psh, Vin Diesel driving these cars, Dwayne the Rock Johnson doing the Dwayne the Rock Johnson rock things. It's cool. It is what it is.
So bro really doesn't like Solo Leveling.
No, I love Solo.
No,
Leveling.
he loves Solo
I don't
Leveling.
understand it.
No, I read the whole thing.
I can understand that. Like I was really on board until halfway through, and I was like, "What am I reading?"
Yeah, you know, it's just like the climax is just okay. Like,
yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
I think if the anime can rectify it, that'd be nice.
I mean, I don't read it, so all I know, to me, it's just like it just looks cool.
Okay.
That's all I'm getting so far.
A1 Pictures is serving great fan service this season.
Oh, with like Sun Jin Woo in the construction outfit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Also,
here like woof, he looking like the dude from Squid Game. The dude, the recruit. He reminded me of the recruit.
I know what you're talking about, but also Cha Hae-in too, like her in the swimsuit. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I still haven't even seen it. I read it all like twice, but I haven't watched what I need to watch. So
hey, it'll be there. Trust me.
Waiting for that Jeju arc, and then I'll probably just read it. I mean,
fair enough.
Watch it all. So.
Which I hear we're getting this season, which is strange.
In a month. I saw something in a month. Yeah.
I mean, the streets been telling me, they're like, yo, they kind of speed run through. Like when I was on Life with Anime, they was kind of letting me know, and I was like, I don't have any context. It was like, yeah, I don't know how they move it so quick.
Yeah, I don't. It's crazy because season 1 was the complete opposite. We got a lot of filler content, brand new content that I didn't really enjoy that much, that I feel like took away from the excitement. And then now it's just like all excitement, but the pace is really fast. So are we going to cover things properly?
I do agree though that like in like the manga or manhwa itself, it progressively got better in my opinion. Like it didn't like, there wasn't like a season or like an arc that was better than other. I think it just progressively got better, to be honest. So maybe that's what's gonna happen.
It progressively got cooler. I'll always say that Solo Leveling, it's like,
dude, is
no. No, I'm not. It's one of those series where like, you know how like in some shows and movies or whatever, you're like, oh man, I really wish this would happen. I really wish they would get this sword or this power. This, I really wish they got this happen to them. Solo Leveling is that series. Like he gets all the best upgrades. He gets a harem. He gets cool moments, good matchups. Like it's just so cool.
There's no depth. Yes, there's no depth.
Yeah. And look at that. And I got killed on TikTok for saying that I don't think this will ever be a top 10 anime. I mean, a top 20 anime.
Yeah, they cooked them.
They was cooking me, bro. They sitting here because they so mad at MHA's quality, which like I'm not an MHA apologist, but I'm like, listen, however you feel about the story, that shit is still one of the most popular anime of all time.
I also don't think Solo Leveling's long enough to become one of the best animes. You know,
I mean,
I don't know about that,
longevity
'cause-
doesn't necessarily add to whether something can be the greatest or not. Like, there are some really good
Yes.
anime out there that's like 2 to
Code
3,
Geass.
2 to 4 seasons long.
Oh,
I
God.
cannot watch.
That
I
people
cannot watch
like
Code
love.
Geass.
Oh,
That's unfortunate.
Because I don't like mecha stuff really. That's the only thing. I'm just not a big mecha guy.
have you tried G Gundam?
So it's hard. No, so it's hard to like
Hmm.
stay into it. You know, personally, like Gurren Lagann, like my friend like was like please watch it, and like I don't know, I lose interest after like.
Oh my God, that's Danny's
Not
baby
even-
boy. That's his Shayla.
Ah,
That's his Shayla.
Hey,
it's about the friends you made along the way. It's not even about the mecha.
It's not about the spiral.
Yeah, shut up, bro. No spoilers.
Is anybody watching Dr. Stone?
Yes.
Hey, you got one.
Listen, bro.
I like started Doctor Stone.
I love science anime. Anything that educates me is so much fun.
I'm so here for it. Like I was telling them, I was like, listen, I don't go to Dr. Stone looking to be like extremely wowed by the animation or the plot twist. I'm here for some little funny jokes. I'm here for a little bit of science. But every now and then, the series does do something where I'm like, holy shit, this is happening right now. Are you caught?
Yeah.
Are you caught up? to
Oh,
the anime?
absolutely.
Okay, so I didn't read it, but like
I haven't read it either, actually.
a fucking airplane.
Yeah. Weapons? Machine
like-
guns?
I'm
I'm like,
like-
what's going on here?
Nani? We going to
wow, they're
America?
really advanced.
I didn't know
The-
about that.
The plot accelerated, not the plot, the science accelerated at a pace that I did not expect. It's like, meanwhile, the boat that they got is still like super wooden and they're in a metal airplane with machine guns. I'm like, whoa.
Oh wow!
Literally, like Tony Stark in a cave with a box of scraps.
Did they find like a metal plane with machine guns and then just revamped it, or did they build that shit from scratch?
I mean, do you want us to really tell you, or like?
Yeah, I am.
No.
You would say
He said, no.
Let's
he said
let's
no.
not do it. Let's not do it.
I do because I
But-
do feel like I was actually thinking about starting it up again anyway. That's
Well, this is the final season, so like you can just
Yeah.
like quick binge at this point.
yeah.
Is it coming in 3 parts, I think?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't know that. I thought it was just gonna
Yeah,
come
this
out.
is not. I'm sorry. They pulled an Attack on Titan on us. It's coming in
Oh, no.
parts.
They pulled a blood war?
Bro.
Oh
This
my
oh, the
Yeah.
1,000-year blood war.
There's like
Jesus.
4 now. I'm so
They gotta
mad.
milk it for as much as they can.
I'm getting
Oh,
antsy because I don't know the ending, and I just want to figure it out. I just want to see it
Yes.
end.
So sorry. It's coming in parts.
Does
So-
anyone know, will there be a hell arc for Bleach?
No,
I've been waiting on that forever.
I heard
feel
something.
I don't think we're gonna get it animated for a long
I
time.
heard
no.
something though.
Soon,
Kubo
a movie?
hasn't even like
it could be a movie.
what
That'd be cool.
he hasn't even written more chapters for that. There's not enough context there for it to be anything. And from what I've read somewhere, Kubo has said like the more people keep asking for it, the less I'm gonna want to write about it. So just don't ask. I'm gonna write
I
when I want.
feel that 100%.
not what you
I'm
wanna
not
hear.
gonna lie, bro. Like,
Yo, he
it-
took a page out of George R. R. Martin's book.
bro, like at some point as a career, you want to be like to your fans, like, yo, get off my dick, man. Jesus, like, let me
Yeah, but-
live.
But he
I don't
finished
know.
Bleach like 15 years ago, bro. What else are
know.
you doing?
Was it
You out
15
there in the
years ago?
fashion world, like making moves? No,
He should be. He should be though.
He
Should
should
be
be.
dramatic. That wasn't
But he's
15
not.
years ago. 2010.
Yeah.
You ODing.
I love
Maybe
Bleach, but
2013.
I don't know.
It was like 20. It was like 10 years ago. It was 2015.
It's around
Oh,
that
it was
time, 2016.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
2016, the
Yeah.
last great year.
That's almost 10 years
The
ago.
last great
Okay.
year. Oh my god, everything just went downhill after that. Yeah.
So
Exactly.
once
We
Bleach
call that the
ended-
Void Century.
It went downhill. All right, that makes sense.
The Void Century. But speaking of Void Century, we've been yapping about a whole bunch of things that has nothing to do with what this stream is about. But here we are reacting to the greatest One Piece chapter ever released to date, some would call it. Chapter 1138. The Harley whacked out murals, y'all. We have some special guests with us tonight. Returning, Annamel. Mel, what's going on?
I'm good. I mean, I feel like we've been talking so much now, so it feels weird to say hi. But hi.
Welcome back.
You
Welcome
got the
back.
order wrong.
And returning as well, our boy Matt. What's going on, bro?
What's up? What's up? What's up? Thanks for
Welcome
having
back,
me
Matt.
again.
So So how's everybody feeling about getting into this chapter tonight?
Great.
I've been looking forward to this all weekend. I've been taking notes down. I've been in my Ancient Aliens bag. You guys have no idea.
Wow, that's deep. Yeah, I don't think my bag is that deep, but I'm like equally nervous and equally like excited. It's like a mix of emotions because again, this chapter was very loaded.
Yeah, she said she brought some charcuterie.
I did. Did
Got
I?
some
Let me
charcuterie.
check.
And quick, let's do some house cleaning, anything like that. Mel, you have anything coming up that you want to promote before we get into the stream? Anything you're working on? Any fun videos?
I'm working on a video on Uramichi Onisan that's been sitting in the editing pool for a minute. I don't know if anyone's ever heard of Life Lessons with Uramichi Onisan.
No.
Oh my god.
What is it? What is it about?
It is adulting, hardcore adulting. It's about a guy. His name is Uramichi. He didn't end up becoming a professional gymnast. So now he's the gymnast Onisan on one of those kids shows. You know, the kids shows where they always had adults, you know, interacting with children. And it's kind of like an engagement show, right? So now he's the gymnast Onisan, and there's also singer Onisans and Onesans, and they basically hate their jobs. They ended up there because they couldn't go anywhere else in life, and every day is miserable. And they teach the children on the show indirectly about the sadness of adulthood through the different lessons that Uramichi Onisan has learned through life.
Oh, you trying to put everybody down bad. People about to be depressed, but that sounds like a fun undertaking.
It is so funny though. It is so funny. You can't help but laugh, but once you finish laughing, you want to cry a little bit because it's like, wow, I think I've been through this too.
Seems like more serious Zom 100.
Yes,
Zom 100 seems like it almost went there.
It's the really depressing version of Zom 100. Like you go home, you wake up in the morning, and it's like, oh my god, it's Monday again, and you've got that dread.
Listen, episode 1 of Zom 100 had me like, man, he's just like me for real.
Uramichi is that every episode. Like,
is that on Crunchyroll?
Yeah, it is. It's only 12 to 13 episodes.
Oh, that's
That's
crazy.
light work.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm looking at some pictures online. I might check it out if you're saying every episode's like Zom 101 for episode 1.
It's like that, but obviously a little bit darker and depressing. It's got lots of sarcasm. If you like dark humor, it's definitely for you. There's like a lot of like snide jokes and sarcastic jokes.
Gotcha.
All right.
Putting it on the docket.
All right.
Sounds good.
And Matt, I know you got some stuff to promote. You dropped some rings, man.
I did.
You
drop
dropped the
my
rings,
business.
bro.
Yeah.
I saw that.
I finally dropped them. I mean, I'm super excited.
If there's that
there
law
you go.
ring,
Yeah.
hot.
Fire.
That's dope.
And then the Ace one.
Ooh, that's nice.
Ooh, can you put that closer?
I'm super excited.
I can't, the
Say
Ace
what?
one. Can you put the Ace one closer?
Yeah.
I don't know if it.
Let's see. There
Got
you
it.
go.
Yeah.
Woo! Literal fire.
Yo, how long took literal fire? I see what you did there.
How long it took me?
Yeah, how long took you to make that design, bro?
Oh, well, I mean, I came up with the design pretty quick, actually. I mean, I kind of know what I wanted, and just from like, it is my first ever drop and my first ever like thing I created. So I kind of sat on it for a while. I saw what was out there, and I was just like, damn, I wish I this would be really cool. This would be really cool. And then I just drew it up, gave it to my friend. I was like, hey, do you do 3D? And he goes, yeah. I'm like, I have this idea. You think you could do it for me? He sketched it up, and he switched up the law one a little bit. He added like these like little lines and stuff. This one and this one.
Yeah.
And I just loved it. And I was like, okay, like I want to do this. And so like I feel like 7 months later, here we are. I dropped it.
That's
So
dope, bro.
Dude,
yeah,
cool.
and it's been going pretty well actually. So the feedback's been pretty awesome. And I can't wait to see them on my viewers, fans, customers' fingers. So
You're about to see them on the next live stream, guy.
oh yeah, I'll have so many extra, I'm pretty sure. So yeah.
So where can we buy these rings at? How much do they cost, bro?
Oh, on by Leonetti, so that's my last name. So that's kind of how I was trying to think of something like something anime-ish, something like Japanese-esque, and I just like
Not
I had such trouble.
sophisticated. It
I had
sounds
such trouble, and everyone was always like, I always knew like my last name is really cool for like a jewelry brand, but I was like, I don't know about an anime brand. And I was like, you know what? Fuck it, I'll just do my name. So by Leonetti, LEONETTI.com. They are 85 a piece. If you buy two, you get 15% off. Yeah. So,
all right. Look at that.
yeah.
So make sure y'all check that out. I have the link in the description down below on the YouTube channel if you guys want to check that out. Also, we have the link to both of their YouTube channels for both Mel and Matt. So you make sure you guys subscribe to them and check out their channel. But
I gotta drop more. I gotta post more.
But without any further ado, it's been 15 minutes so far. Mel, you want to take us to start off this chapter?
Let's go,
Yep.
Mel.
Sure thing. Let's go. All right. Chapter 1138, The Harley. Ogre Child Yamato's Golden Harvest, Surrogate Pilgrimage, Volume 24. It was Who's Who all along. So I guess we see this picture of Who's Who. It's been a while since we've seen him, so really awesome that he's still alive in Wano, and he's surrounded by other cat-like figures and what looks like some geishas. Don't know 100%, but yeah, nice cover. It's a really nice cover page. I like it.
It almost looks like he's like a mob boss or something.
Yes, I'm glad he's enjoying his life after his defeat from Jinbei.
I heard some people were saying that the women there were some of the women who were being kidnapped throughout Wano, and that building that the Who's Who's base, it was probably the construction worker that Franky worked under that built it for him. So Who's Who's pretty much been like going around kidnapping people for himself.
Yeah, this felt like a final boss chapter a little bit, where it was like, okay, so all the mishaps that kind of have been going on are kind of connected to Who's Who.
I'm not surprised that he's the one that got away, because we know that King and Queen got captured by the Admiral. So it's no surprise that this guy, he's like, he left Impel Down, he ain't going back.
Yeah, I guess Jinbei didn't put in enough work to keep him down. Guess he got to try harder next time.
Yep.
Yeah, but I'm glad. I liked Who's Who as a character. I'm glad he's alive. But Yamato's about to make fuck this guy up.
This almost makes me feel like I don't know where Oda is about to go with this, because I'm just like, I feel like he's about to drag this Yamato thing so long that this might end up being the Toby Roppo that's still remaining being recruited like scabbards.
Page 1 and ulti next.
Listen, man, I'm an ulti stan, bro. Bring back some ulti into the story, man.
I might actually enjoy that.
Sasaki.
If the story starts going in that direction, I'll be like, okay, maybe this was well worth it.
Cause like, come on, let's call it what it is. Them Wano Samurai is the C team right now.
B squad, C squad.
They need some people that can actually scrap. So I think a whole bunch of Kaido's subordinates, like past subordinates, ended up being under Yamato in a way, reforming them. Very Oden-esque.
Perhaps.
It's a vibe. I could go for that.
Digging it.
But if they were supposed to be scabbards, then wouldn't they follow Momonosuke and not Yamato?
Well, like Oden,
Oden.
Oden wasn't the shogun, so it's a little different there. Yamato could become a daimyo, or Yamato actually leaves this island and joins us, maybe. Like
I would love to see Yamato leave, but I don't know. We'll see.
We can hope. We can pray.
Maybe towards the end.
Yeah. Reset X, if you're checking out Oshinoko Season 3 in 2026.
I haven't even checked out Season 1.
I only saw Season 1.
I finished reading the manga.
I heard people have some opinions.
I've dropped my opinion on YouTube if anybody wants to watch that.
Look at that, the plug.
I already have my opinion out there. I understand that there were a lot of mixed reviews. As to why those people had mixed reviews, I think it really varies on the person. I don't think people were reading the same story. All right.
Reading media literacy is really, really down these days.
Please. All right. All right. Let's start the chapter then. Yeah.
Yep.
Mhm.
So we open up with Loki, and he's huffing. He's got his head down. And he's looking over. It opens up to a panel, and it's Shamrock and person's name I can no longer
Kumko.
remember. Thank you. And Loki is now talking. For as much as you look like him, you gotta be related to to that red hair pirate Huff. And it's just silence from Shamrock. Hold your tongue. That's nothing you need to know. Loki continues. True, it ain't my business, but a great pirate and a celestial dragon standing on opposing sides of the world power. The fact that you have the same face is bound to draw curiosity! Exclamation mark. That pirate, says Shamrock, is my estranged younger twin brother. He returned to the Holy Land once, but he seems to prefer the filth of the lower world. Loki returned? I see. Then your bloodline has earned my ire twice over. How fantastic that two separated brothers should each be targets of my wrath. You rue this day once I get these chains off.
Damn, my boy is struggling to speak right now.
Yeah.
It's cold. He's hurt.
Mhm.
Are we fans of Shamrock's name?
Yeah. No, absolutely.
No, I hate it.
I mean,
absolutely not.
I
want to go him
low-key,
stabbed so bad just now.
Yeah.
I low-key think he's just the sham of Shanks, and that's how I see his name in my head forever now. He's just a sham.
The Sham God. Oh
Interesting.
God. I was like, damn. I was like, Shamrock don't even sound right. Every time you said it, I was like, ooh.
I just keep thinking
Mm.
Shamrock Shake. That's all I keep thinking.
My mistake. No, Stab's such a better name for him. But I'm glad that we finally got confirmation that it's not a clone.
It's not a
They're
clone.
brothers.
Gotta hold that L.
But why
Listen,
did he have
man.
to flex real quick and be like, "That's my younger twin brother"? Come on, bro. Who gives a shit?
Because he said he's
He was
little
born
man.
seconds earlier.
He little man.
That's a great question. I don't know why he had to do that, but I mean, I was reading somewhere like, because I feel like names have so much meaning in One Piece. Shamrock, even though it's like the 4-leaf clover, is also representative of like Christianity and stuff like that, which could still be connected to like the celestial dragons in a way, and that's kind of why his name may be like henceforth.
All right. So why do we think Shanks? What does Shanks do in Mary Joie?
I was thinking about that. I was like, that's a
agree.
great
Awesome.
question.
Like, bro,
What
just
do you
Maybe
know?
just
Your family?
yeah.
But I mean, like,
I mean,
when,
if anything, it
like,
happened. If anything, it probably happened after Gold Roger died.
Yeah.
Because I can't imagine he would have had time. Because the only time he wasn't on Gold Roger's ship was when he was taking care of Buggy when they went to Laugh Tale, which
well,
he was taking care of Buggy.
The Roger Pirates disbanded before his execution, so there was a lot of time in between there as well. And
Yeah.
that could have also led to like what maybe led Shanks to not want to find the One Piece right away because he went to Mary Joie at that age. There's still a gap there, so we don't know when for sure. Could have been adults. I'm not
After-
ruling it out. I'm not ruling it out.
Yeah. I
For
mean,
sure
the question
after the
also is
Roger
how long would he even spend there? Because he's just saying he's been there. Was it there for just a visit? You know?
Yeah. If he went as a kid, I just feel like they wouldn't even let him leave though. Like low key, like I don't think they would let him leave. Like, yeah.
I have a crackpot theory.
Let's hear it.
What if low key, Garling is actually working against Emu, and
Wait.
Shanks is
yeah.
actually working with Garling to put everything in motion that they've been putting in motion.
Wait, did you say low key or Loki?
Oh, not Loki, not Loki. Like
Okay,
as in-
I got confused. I was like,
not as in
Loki,
those were like
Garland.
low, like low.
Okay.
The low of the key, the lowest
Got
of
you.
keys,
Got you.
because
No, I like it.
that could be like maybe like him seeing him, then maybe coming up with some plan or some thought. Like, we don't know Garland's full like motivations. Like maybe he'd been planning to try to move up the ranks somehow. Maybe he lost Shanks on purpose during God Valley, like things like that. Like, I don't know.
So you think Garling's you might think Garling's good? You're saying? good.
or just against Emu.
Yeah, something.
I could see more against Emu than good, but I don't know. He seems like a pretty vile character from the small
He
introductions.
probably
that
just
got.
wants power for himself.
Yeah.
He's probably not doing this for the good of the world. If anything, he
look-
wants.
Yeah.
He kind of just seems like a Garp, but just more ruthless and kind of like I wouldn't say ruthless, but just more, I guess, evil. I don't know.
Even how he stepped into the
More
room
about
when he
his
got
shit.
promoted, he came in big dick swinging.
Oh yeah, of course.
Like he was like, "Oh yeah, I'm him now. Y'all gotta listen to me." So something about it seems like, I don't know. Maybe that's what led to Shanks being able to go and come back.
I don't know about that one.
I
feel like
don't
there's
Personally.
there's a higher likelihood he went there for bargaining or something of that nature.
I feel like Shanks is just curious and just
Maybe he may have been curious.
I'm
He
like,
may be curious.
you know?
Maybe they were
He
trying to
just made-
persuade him.
He just stayed long enough to realize that they're all fucking assholes, and he just left.
Yeah.
You know, because
Kind
again,
of like same scenario when he pulled up on Whitebeard's ship. You know.
yeah, because Shamrock's saying, you know, he seemed to have preferred the filth of the lower world.
Yeah.
So, you know, he gave it a shot. He was like, yeah, I'm not rocking with what you guys are selling, so I'm just gonna go back.
Mhm.
Yeah, this is
I
lame.
love how like he definitely is the younger brother just based on how they both act, like their demeanors though. Like that's just so funny.
Yeah.
Shamrock's is like the bigger
Shamrock-
older
yeah.
with authority, and then Shanks is just out here partying all the
The
time.
goofy,
wearing sweatpants.
yeah,
Yeah.
just like
Yeah.
that's just funny.
Zaz in the chat saying Shanks is lame. I don't doubt Shanks out here doing nonsense. He pulled up to dry snitch on Blackbeard. Yo,
Bruh.
bro hates Shanks, bro. He hates Shanks, bro. Why you hate Shanks so much? He ain't even here in this chapter.
Yeah, I think Shanks has
He's catching
some
strays for no
plan.
reason. Shanks was catching strays. Everyone kept calling him a rat.
Yeah.
but he beat the allegations.
Beat it.
I mean, I don't know if he beat him yet.
What do you mean? He definitely beat
I
him.
mean,
He said he just says.
some people think that it's not necessarily a whole twin situation. I've seen some theories that I don't necessarily agree with, where they think it's same person, two different personalities. But how do you explain the scar?
That's
Yeah, a
interesting.
Doesn't
scar on
make
the
sense
arm.
to me.
And the arm.
Yeah.
He thinks he
think
what's his
that's
name
a
from
stretch.
JoJo's.
It's a stretch. So,
It's a
I mean, I think people are trying to find ways to, say Shanks is not it.
Yeah.
Damn,
If it was the same person and Oda was like, yeah, he just regrows an arm and here's everything that happened to him, then yeah, like no one would like that. That'd be like the worst writing ever. I'm sorry.
What do we think about the fact that Loki can just can he just see? These
I
bandages
think he
mean
has some
nothing?
kind of. I think he has some kind of like observation hockey for sure.
Yeah.
Or I don't know, maybe like one of these human guys are like right behind his ear and he's telling him what the guys look like.
Well, I mean,
He's
that's
like a dolphin.
that's
Don't dolphins have the?
that's the worst thing about hockey, bro. It has really become the force because like you could just at no point in time in this story have we heard anybody say like, yeah, you got bandages on, you can see exactly what somebody looks like.
Well, Fujitora is like
He can't see what they look like.
Well, yeah, you can't see exactly what they look like, but
No,
it's giving the
but
same
it's,
like.
It's all hockey though, right?
Yeah.
He sees a silhouette of them.
Again, his eyes are blindfolded, so maybe it has something to do with his devil fruit ability.
I wonder if he can use the nature like and see with like, I don't know, like the beasts and stuff. Or
It's the voice of all things, guys.
It's the voice of all.
Everything's
It's the Hashirama cells. It's the Hashirama cells. The voice of all things is the Hashirama cells.
Please.
All right. Second 2 pages. I'll take it from here.
Sheesh.
You know what'll happen, don't you? I watched my friend's fate decided before my eyes, and now I bear the cost of it as we watch a whole bunch of animals get murked by some arrows.
Someone call Peter.
You dream of threatening me? Commander, don't let him. Indeed. It's not worth dirtying my own hands. You do it. Cerberus. I'm not doing all these growls and wolves, but we see it. Thanks. You can do your best dog impression for me. So we see a Cerberus come from Shanks. See? Fucking up.
That's crazy.
Fucking up.
Stab, just call him
Don't
Stab.
disrespect my boy.
Stab. Stab sword. Labeled Cerberus, but does not say it's a devil fruit. Huh?
Nah, I was thinking that.
What is that? As we see a blade come out of one of the dog's mouth. Loki looking shocked. It's my sword.
Interesting. I'm like wondering, did they use, is Shamrock the one that's like teleporting the elders kind of thing or some shit? I don't know.
I don't think so for a reason. I mean, spoilers. Later, he tells Gunko to go summon somebody, so I don't think it's him.
Oh, okay. You need
Yeah.
like he's like Kakashi and just summons fucking dogs.
I don't know
I think
anymore.
it's like one of those cases where like the weapon has the devil fruit ability.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe it
That'd
could
be
be
pretty
that.
cool.
I don't know,
Because
man.
it's not like we haven't seen it before.
Literally
true.
2 other times, so it's not like it's like a common thing. So
Or
This is pretty cool.
it could be a Cerberus that ate a sword fruit.
Yeah, those are
Listen,
options. It's
I'm-
nonetheless, it could be devil fruit ability related.
Because
you know why it could be that, Corey? Because the dogs literally have swords coming out of their mouths, which is crazy.
and
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they do.
and we seen a fake Cerberus already at Throw the Bark.
Oh my god, that thing!
So I'm just saying, like the fact that it's not labeled as a devil fruit, and we've seen already, especially in when it comes to Spandom, and that was it the dog that ate the gun fruit, or was it a gun that it was a gun that ate a dog
That ate
fruit
the
in
dog-
Alabasta.
Yeah.
So
I don't.
oh no, it was Miss Merry
Interesting
Christmas,
world.
the
No,
mole
I
lady.
know. I don't remember which is which. Whether
Yeah.
it was the dog that ate the gun fruit or vice versa.
So I don't know. The fact that it doesn't rule out that there's still like a Cerberus devil fruit, but definitely can't say for sure this is the same case of like Spandam's like whole sword having
Yeah.
an elephant fruit.
Gotcha.
I
think
do
it
wanna
might be the
say-
sword eating the dog for-
Yeah,
for
I
Cerberus.
do want to say real quick. I do love the way Shamrock looks in like
Oh,
a couple
yeah.
of these panels where he just pulls out the sword and he just summoning Cerberus. Like, oh man, when that when that gets animated, I can already imagine the cosplays for this man. First of
That
all,
gets animated.
I'm
buddy.
literally trying to cosplay him so quick. Like,
let's go to
I
medieval
have
times.
I have something already. I have a coat that I used for Roger, and I think I can use it for him. I would just need to make all the armor, which I've never done before. But
You know what? It's going to be
That's
the
gonna be
hair
fun.
too. You need the braids,
I
Oh,
know.
yeah.
Also, I need the braids.
the locks.
That's the one
long
thing I
flowing
gotta.
hair.
That's the one thing I gotta give Shamrock. Man, he makes Shank look so basic and dusty and ugly.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god, it's so true though.
He's
Like-
making Shanks look like the Guy Fieri of the Figurlins.
Damn.
Wow.
I'm over here like, look at Shamrock's little braids. I'm like, God damn, Tangled.
That's kind of fire, though.
Yeah, no. Shamrock's he's got the drip down.
And so far, he
Yes.
got the swag because the way he talking in this, you
He's big
dream
brother.
of threatening me?
Shakespearean over here.
It's not worth dirtying my own hands.
Oh my god.
So now the question is, right? Who do you think is stronger, right? Shanks or Shamrock? And if you look at it, the only way we can really base it is who their teachers were, right?
But we don't.
So-
So
Yeah,
Garland.
I don't-
We have to assume. We have to assume, right? So,
So-
if Garling's his teacher and
Do-
Roger's Shanks' teacher,
Mm.
God, this is why we need a God Valley flashback.
Yes.
I think I'm gonna go on the ledge right now, depending on if we secretly find out that Shanks has all of a sudden also had a griffin fruit in his sword.
that would
I
make
think
sense.
I might be going with Shamrock
Really?
Because he has 2 arms, or
because he has 2 arms and he has a crazy sword.
That's 2 arms.
no. Seriously, like if Shanks has 2
Ah.
arms, are you still going with Shamrock?
If Shanks has 2 arms, I think I might
I
be going with Shanks.
I don't know. I'm gonna quickly back up to the previous panel and say Shanks, because if he was able to go back to Marijois and leave, and no one stopped him, I think he has to be stronger.
Yeah, definitely. I like that. I like that idea.
Mm.
That's a good. Unless he pulled up with Roger, but I don't think that happened.
Nah.
Let me ask you this: could Shamrock have stopped the Marine Corps war?
Shamrock don't got clout. See, what really stopped the Marine Corps war was Shanks's clout. Nobody don't really know who Shamrock is, so he would have had to go there cosplaying as Shanks. But Shanks still had his crew.
The higher ups.
Do you think Sengoku knows about Shamrock? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because then, like, okay, so then he would have the clout. Because, like, do we think that the war was stopped because Shanks would fucking lay waste to everybody, or because he is like a higher? Born from, like, a higher.
Shamrock might be known, per se by Sengoku, but Shanks holds like weight towards like pirates and Marines, right? So if Shamrock just shows up, the only person who know who he is the guy in charge who signs the checks. Everybody else is like, who is this dude? Like, you could do undercover boss at this point.
That is true.
But Shanks, people are like, oh nah.
Like, I can see Shamrock pulling up and someone trying to test him real quick, like, you're a phony.
Yeah, you ain't. You got two on. You got two arms. You must be weaker. I see Marge in the chat on Instagram saying, "What up?"
Maybe we see a Mihawk versus Shamrock.
A Mihawk. Ooh, I would love to see that.
Well, I want to see Zoro versus Shamrock.
Okay. I'd rather see Mihawk.
Why? What's wrong with that, Mel?
I don't know. The vibe doesn't sit.
What do you mean?
It didn't hit.
Zoro versus Shamrock?
The vibe doesn't sit well.
I'm personally of the opinion I want Luffy versus Shamrock.
I don't even want that.
I don't want that, bro. Because think about it. We see the Cerberus, 3 swords, 3-sword style.
That's a push.
That's a push.
I think it's a little bit of a push. They seem really mystical. I don't know about that one.
It's first grade. What? It's easy stuff. That's fire. The 3 blades, like Zoro having to deal with all that.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I'm not gonna.
It's gonna make for great fight choreo, bro. 2 sword users. Maybe Luffy fights Gunko, because I was telling Danny that before. I think Luffy versus Gunko would be funny as hell because Luffy already defies physics.
So,
okay.
I'm sitting here trying to think, like, who would I want to fight Shamrock? Okay. And one person that I don't think he would win or anything like that, but it'd be fun to watch, even if it was like a small clip, or like, how like Marco showed up in Wano for like that little bit and fought a little bit. Rayleigh, like, that would be kind of fun. I don't know why, it just popped in my head, and I was
Rayleigh is going to get cooked.
That could be kind of fun.
He's too old
if
for
he
this
fought
shit.
Darling, but I think
Rayleigh is going to get cooked, bro. Rayleigh
too old for this.
He was over here like, ooh, I ain't trying to fight that young boy
watch.
Blackbeard. He said, I don't want those Blackbeard problems. I was just trying to use my name. He tried to use clout. He ain't have the strength. Also, shout out to Shade actually becoming our first member on the channel. Thank you.
Hey.
Appreciate that.
Oh, true. Is it Shade or Sade? Did we ever get confirmation on that?
They never really told us. So, are you Sade, like the musical artist, or are you Shade, like the shade that we're throwing towards Shanks and Shamrock?
Crazy.
But thank you again for becoming a member, supporting the moon. We really, really appreciate it, being our first member. Za is still talking ish because he's on his Blackbeard agenda over here because I do think that Blackbeard could be the one to take out Shanks as well.
No, I don't think that's happening.
He don't want that. I don't want that.
I think Shanks has a good chance of dying.
I feel like
I think Law's dying. I think Law's gonna die.
I feel like.
Why do we have to go there? Why do we have to go there?
Law already got away. Law already got away, bro. Like, let's just let Kid be dead. Let's let Kid be dead. Like, keep him in the water graveyard.
I don't know. I think we need Kid. We need Kid.
We need Kid?
Yeah,
Kid
for
needs to come back.
story.
He's
For
gonna get a
story.
redemption.
No. You know why we don't need Kid? Because we need Franky to have his devil fruit or something. Someone.
Franky doesn't want a double fruit.
He doesn't need
Nah,
it.
Franky wants to be able to swim,
Be
bro.
so cool.
Okay, nah, if Franky had kids, devil fruit, we'd make a lot more use of it than Kid.
I have ideas for Franky, but
It's true.
Kid over here just making the same old things over and over again. I'm like, bro, can you get more creative? You can't make.
He has one brain cell, please.
He can't make like little like handheld like photon cannons instead of having to always make a big one. Like you could be doing some long distance stuff, but you over here keep on making the bigger fist. Like Luffy already does the bigger fist right. Pause.
you can make Usopp a sniper.
All right, so let's get to the next 2 pages, Matt.
Let's go. Make sure I'm on the right one. All right. Oh shoot. Okay, so we see the swords coming out of the Cerberus. Whoa, that's creepy. What's wrong with them? And then you see, I guess it's like spinning. Like he goes,
Color.
extinguish your presence, Commander. We need to move. Scramble. And then you can see she shot some kind of like arrow attack. Okay, or is that bandages? I think it's bandages.
They made the bandage. She made the bandages into like a
Yeah,
burn.
it's like
think
an arrow.
about what's his name from Naruto, Datara.
Oh, okay, got you. Oh, hey. Woof. Phew. Return. And then they just hopped on the bird made out of bandages and flew away. If you should survive, come and kill me. I'll be ready for you. Wait a damn second. I feel like he would talk like that.
Yeah, I get it, man. I get it.
Only Oda can make a bird out of bandages. I'm over here like, yeah, it looks right.
Yeah.
I mean,
love that.
I was
Seems right to
convinced.
me. I was like, that looks cool to me. I can see the head.
I love it. I'm glad to see that we're able to see more of what her ability can do. And
Yeah.
speaking of abilities, what is going on with this man's
telling
dog?
you, bro?
Oh.
Zoro
Dog
you see the
versus
sword?
What is it?
Shamrock, bro. Zoro versus Shamrock, bro.
Do you see the sword though in that panel, that like very middle panel of the whole entire page? How it's like half gone and then the rest is like that's
The
cool.
sword is half gone,
You
Yeah,
talking
you
about
don't
when it
see
goes
it?
off the page?
Look at it in the middle.
where he says return.
Yeah, like after he says return,
Oh,
the
I
next
see,
one.
I
Oh,
see.
well, like
Yeah,
the
it's
head,
like-
the heads detach. So
it's
that's
like
what the
coming
collar,
into his sword.
the collar spinning makes the heads detach. It seems like.
Yeah, but he's saying the sword is in half.
Like so,
So
what
it's
I'm
like
saying is
the
like
Oh
sword.
yeah,
sword-
because it's some. I think because it's summoning the
Yeah.
things. Yeah.
Mhm.
So can he use the sword while the dogs are out, or can he not? use the sword?
Probably, I would say probably not. This is really giving
Like,
like
just like a-
Spandam's sword with the elephant.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like it is really dead ass the sword, but seems like he has a lot of control over it. But he's like talking to it like it's an animal.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's commanding it. But like, why do the heads get to detach? What part of Cerberus, like, what part of the devil fruit does that happen?
Sir, remember, it's a Cerberus that ate a sword fruit. Also,
they can
we
separate?
watched Sasaki make a helicopter head. We can't question. We're not sitting here questioning
Okay.
physics. You know what I mean?
You're
like,
right. You're right.
Like Queen turned into a snake from being
Yeah.
Yeah.
like this
I
isn't
don't.
the
I
series
don't
where
read.
you get to do
I
that.
don't read One Piece for the sense. Yeah, I don't read One Piece for the sense.
All right. Fair enough. You got me.
Correct
Yeah.
me if I'm wrong. I know that I just had it in my head. A Cerberus, if you cut the head off of a Cerberus, does another head grow back, or no? Is that only a?
It's a Hydra.
It's just a Hydra.
Oh, okay, just making sure.
Yeah, you
Hell
just-
Hydra.
That's
Jesus.
I think with Cerberus, you obviously need to defeat all of the heads in some instances in order for it to be
Yeah.
like fully dead. My only interaction with Cerberus is like Kingdom Hearts. And-
Yup. I was just gonna say.
and that's every time I think about like Cerberus, it's Kingdom Hearts and that fight with, yeah.
Kingdom Hearts classic. Anybody who knows, if you know about a confusing story, but you somehow still keep going back to it.
Jeez.
But if we are leaning towards this being perhaps a, sword that has the Cerberus fruit, maybe, is it awakened? Because we see the awakened clouds.
Could be.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. I actually didn't realize that until you said it.
Could be. Could be.
Could just be a design thing. Because for all I know, instead of it being a devil fruit, it could just be some special sword that Emu, gave powers to. Because The same way we didn't see like the Gorosei have like fruit names under them, but it seems like Emu can grant things something equivalent to a devil fruit power without it being a devil fruit.
Yeah, because they can also be in the water. So
My hesitation, and that was my initial thought when we were talking about devil fruits in the previous panels, is that the power that we've seen so far, like Emu provide to the Gorosei, are more loosely attached to like yokai from like other types of lore in Japanese lore. Cerberus, even though it's like Greek mythology, I'm not sure if it's necessarily like the exact type of lore that is connected to the Goros to Emu's power. That's my only hesitation with that.
That's interesting.
I don't know.
Listen, we just gotta let them cook. Just gotta let them cook. All right. So who has the next 2 pages? Danny?
That's me.
Yeah.
Here we're cutting to Loki looking up, seeing the Cerberus honing in at him. You gotta be joking. You don't mean it! Even I can't handle getting run through by those. Curse you, celestial dragon! Damn you to hell! And then you're seeing Stab and Gunko flying off into the distance while you're hearing wailing in the background. Pacifying them all at once will be too hard. We need to get to the warrior's children first. Call one more. Gunko responds, very well. Which one? And that's it for these pages.
So ominous.
We about to get God's Valley 2.0 on Elbath.
Yeah, war is coming back.
I'm convinced, bro. I think that the shit is about to hit the fan sooner than we believe in this series, bro. Like,
oh no, I think it's coming. I think we're on like the tail end of everything, and everything is just going to be sped up.
Yeah, no, I mean, Stab's over here trying to take over the country.
And we don't know who can come. Oh, go ahead. My bad.
I was gonna say, so he wants to call one more guy.
Yeah.
Do they need to be at the castle for that to happen, or can they just remotely do that? Because if they need to go back to the castle to summon another God's Knight, then that means we're about to see a Luffy versus Stab matchup.
It feels like
that would be interesting.
You mean Zoro versus Stab?
Whatever you want, man. Okay. I just need to see someone throw hands.
Do you think Oda pulls something annoying like they just miss each other again, or no?
Maybe, because at the end of the day, they need to go and save Loki. But the reason why I don't think that they're going to leave the castle right away is because we already know that there is a hooded figure walking up towards the castle. That's probably going to keep them there for a little while longer. So if we think that maybe, let's say, Stab and Gunko don't need to go back and they can just remotely call another God's Knight, then that means whoever they call, either way, we're getting a fight soon between Luffy, somebody, and a God's Knight. We just don't know which God Knight it's gonna be.
Yeah, I mean, they're directly saying like, all right, let's go get these kids, and we already know, our kids on Elbath. You know, we got to make Elbath great again, guys, because these kids is weak. They can't fight.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's giving me Revenge
La
of the Sith
Mega.
flashback.
I mean, can they? How are they going to restart the like experiments potentially that was going on? You know, on Punk Hazard. Like, I feel like that's what's potentially what's happening here, right? Testing for gigantification and things of that nature.
Well, they do have York, who is a Vegapunk, so yeah, maybe.
Right. I mean, I don't know if this is something you have all discussed already, but I've seen the theory as well that Loki killed the old king because he was selling the children before. And now that he's gone, Loki's locked up and it's kind of like peaceful. And there's no real king and the castle has been locked up, which could have been the potential point for them to come through because there's no one in the castle anyway. Yeah. Very easy to sneak in since no one's going to approach that area. And we don't know where the giants are roaming on the rest of Elbath. Like, it's probably the weakest point to infiltrate.
Yeah. I mean, I've definitely been going on the different iterations of Loki being a fraud tour. So, like, in regards to fraud at this point, it's like I all these stories, it can't be as simple as like what Oda's making it, that he's actually the bad guy. Like I got more respect for Oda's pen for that to be so blatantly black and white. We've seen Dressrosa, we've seen Alabasta, we've seen so many different arcs where like the king is kind of misrepresented, whether it be in a good way or a bad way, right? So it'd be foolish to not think it. I don't know how sure Loki actually is. I can't say for sure, but I definitely think that him and Hydrogen are at least colluding together to keep some type of peace.
Despite Loki being strong, do we think he has regenerative abilities? Because he got stabbed 3 times.
I think he's just gonna be able to heal fine. Like
Yeah.
we've watched so many injuries in this series, bro. Like I can't.
I think his name is playing true in this instant, and he might just be like joking around, like feigning that it's gonna like be painful, but it's not.
Okay, so this could all be an illusion. That's not even Loki.
For sure, it definitely could be. Well, yeah.
You know what's one thing we didn't touch on in the last page was when Gunko was telling Shamrock to extinguish your presence. So is that something that people can do all of a sudden now? You can hide your presence?
You can hide your power level?
I didn't know that was a thing.
Maybe it's
because
like
clearly it was like he was overflowing with hockey when he was commanding Cerberus, and she's like, yo, you're gonna give us away. Kind of like when Luffy was on the bridge, and all of a sudden he's like, wait a minute, there's a disturbance in the force, and that's when he found Loki. So I guess she's afraid that if Shamrock goes a little too hard.
Are we thinking hockey was? I don't really see any signs of hockey being emitted though. Like,
yeah, I don't know.
There's like usually because there was no lightning bolts are usually the effect that you see for it. So there's no signs of like, and it'd be very weird for hockey to be coming out of a devil. I don't know, like a devil. I don't know. It just the fruit itself, like the animal. But it's a weird situation, but it's not indicated here. So I don't want to automatically include hockey being. It could just be maybe like a interesting way of speaking.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Next page is.
Alrighty. Lots of words.
All the words.
All the words. All right. So we open up to Ara's castle, Elbaf. You see the castle in the background, and we see some chattering coming from the castle. I know what I saw. It was red hair. Liar. Shanks wouldn't beat you guys up with without a good reason. Luffy looks angry, fuming. We zoom in on the castle a little bit more. Now we're inside the castle, and we see tiny little straw hats, and we see the giants that got beat up in previous chapters, as well as Roto. Giant now announces that, but it's true. I'd recognize him anywhere. Red hair has been to Elbaf many times. Yeah, I guess you would. Shanks is really cool. This guy must have looked like him, says Luffy. We were shocked to see him. We thought, what's he doing inside the castle? Red hair was just in Elbaf, right? Says Zoro. So it's not out of the question that he would still be in the area. Luffy still fuming. But if what you're saying is true, that wasn't Shanks. Shanks is a cheerful guy who isn't full of himself, and he doesn't do anything messed up like that. Nami, you trust him so much. Haha.
She said, stop glazing, bro. She said, stop glazing.
Oh my god. Angry fuming Luffy continues. Of course I do. Look, Nami, wouldn't you be mad if someone said stuff like that about Molly Mare? You mean Bell Mare? So I guess they were 2 identical people? Maybe they were brothers. Shanks' brother. I guess that could be true. But I never heard him talk about his family. Just that he was on a pirate ship ever since he was little, says Luffy. Makes you wonder. I thought Roger and Rayleigh and those guys were his family. The Roger pirates. Aside from Buggy. Then you see this thought bubble of this shadowy figure that's climbing up to the castle.
Why my boy Yonko Buggy got to catch a stray?
I don't know, but in my opinion, Shanks and Buggy are essentially brothers. They grew up together.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean,
brother from another mother.
Buggy is Roxy's the Bet kid, and Shanks is Garland's kid.
Zabet?
You didn't hear those theories that Buggy's Zebek's kid?
Absolutely
No,
not.
absolutely not.
Absolutely
All
Not
right,
seeing that
not.
at
are
all.
you guys? What love? What do you mean by absolutely not? You mean like
I do
you
not.
never
No,
heard it, or you just don't want
I've
it?
never seen that theory before, and I don't think I'd
Never.
agree with it
All
either.
right,
There's a
let
lot
me-
of similarities between
Let
the
me
two.
break it
Corey,
down for
put
you
'em on.
guys. You ready?
Put 'em on.
Ooh,
All right.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, classes in session. Welcome to the Buggy Agenda. So, what are the stark differences between Buggy and Zebek? There are not many. We don't really know much about Zebek, and we know that just like Buggy and Cross Guild, having a bunch of pirates who don't necessarily need to be working together are starting to work together under Buggy, but it's actually all a sham. Roxy Zebek also had a similar crew in which he was hidden and nobody saw him on God Valley. They called him a coward. They didn't seem to respect him. And it was a bunch of pirates that don't need to be working together for a common goal. Shanks found during God Valley. Buggy seems to be around the same age. Where is Buggy found? We do know that these people in this series like to adopt kids. Adopted fathers is a very, very big trope in this series. So I'm either leaning towards Buggy being Zebek's kid, or shit, even crazier, never even went this far. Buggy and Luffy could both be related, and Buggy and Dragon could be Zebek's kid.
Oh wow, you really went on a stride.
I went crazy just now, yeah.
on that
Wait.
last part.
Buggy and
Because-
Dragon be Zabek's kid.
Yes, because I don't feel like Garp, I feel like Garp is a D, but I don't feel like, because Garp already adopted a kid once, it's not outside the wheelhouse for him to have done that before, and Garp knowing that he has done that before for another pirate.
Okay. I mean,
No.
I can kind of be on board with Buggy. And
Even if it's half, you don't
Zebek,
gotta
but,
gotta be all the way. But if you even digged half of what I was saying, I think I did a good job then.
I can understand a little bit.
You don't want to believe it.
I'm just saying, like, there has to be something with Buggy,
I'm
right?
in the same boat.
No.
Like, at this point, I almost think like Blackbeard is overly glazing, trying to like make it seem like he isn't that important, and Buggy just like, what is Oda doing with Buggy?
Okay,
man?
so here's what I think. Because first off, correct me if I'm wrong. Buggy is Oda's favorite character.
I don't know. I don't have any.
I wouldn't be
confirmation.
surprised.
I think that's like actually a confirmed thing. But
that might be
anyways,
something.
so let's say it is, right? Let's say Buggy is his favorite character. I personally think that this is what's gonna happen. I think Luffy becomes a pirate king, and then I think he does what he needs to do, accomplishes whatever he needs to accomplish, and then gives Buggy the title so that Buggy can be pirate king, because Buggy always wanted to be pirate king. And then that way I can see the one pirate becoming pirate king that isn't stemming from anything that's like, he doesn't have a father that's this person, he doesn't have a mother that's this person, you know what I mean? He's just a regular dude pirate that became king, achieved his dream. Boom, everyone can relate to that, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Kind of like a poor kid didn't like come from a rich family, he didn't get gifted everything, you know, he wasn't the popular kid that got everything, that got all the girls or whatever the case may be, you know what I mean? He's just a dude.
I mean, what if the world comes to think that Buggy actually is the pirate king, even without knowing all the shenanigans going on? Because Buggy is a clown, and we are talking about somebody who brings laughter to the world, being the savior, but he's not really that.
Yeah.
Ooh.
It's all about
I
optics.
could
It's
be
all
on
about
board with that
optics.
idea. I could be on board with that idea where
Buggy,
Luffy
the
actually
god of
finds the One
laughter.
Piece, and then, then stories spread,
Yeah.
rumors spread,
'Cause-
and
Because it
suddenly
doesn't
he's the pirate king.
it doesn't stop Luffy from getting his real dream, right? Luffy's
Yeah.
dream isn't to become the pirate king. In his head, he's like, I want to achieve my dream, and I need to do this to become that. But
Yeah.
as we all know, life doesn't always go as planned. So like, how you plan on getting to your dream may not be exactly what you wanted. So maybe Luffy never. It might be crazy, but maybe Luffy doesn't become pirate king. Maybe it is Buggy, but just by name only, because we know how the One Piece world
Yeah.
works. It does work on just hearsay and what the information is out there.
Mhm,
Like,
mhm.
sure, in the story, a bunch of crazier things is going to happen, but Luffy being more happier to achieving his dream. And then the joke and the gag of of Buggy becoming the pirate king would piss Luffy off, because it's the only character in this whole series that really pisses Luffy off.
Yeah.
True.
That's
Which
true.
is so funny because they've spent so much time together.
More
That's
than
true
Shanks.
too.
Like,
Maybe that's why he doesn't see Shanks and Buggy as brothers, because of how much he pisses Luffy
Luffy
off.
was
He
also
can't
like
fathom.
Luffy was also passed out when Buggy and Shanks met up in Marineford, so he didn't see how
You don't
like
even
they
know.
interact
every
Yeah.
and
time
how
Luffy,
Shanks is so familiar with Buggy. Everyone else saw, and that's why they're like,
yeah,
"You have a Yonko's respect.
talking
Like you're able to like
casual,
grab him and
he's blacking on
shake him."
Shanks. He's blacking on Shanks, bro.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, and
but
Buggy's the
really,
only character that Luffy always would be like, stop the cap. If he hear anything, he's like, stop the cap. He ain't that guy.
He's like, shut up.
but getting back onto the topic though, I know everyone's asking, everyone's got their theories. Who is this hooded figure?
At this
Who do
point,
we
bro,
think?
with the context
Like,
clues
just a new
around,
character.
you think it's a new character?
I don't know. He keeps introducing new characters. I don't see
Yeah,
why. it wouldn't be a
I
new
would think it's a
character.
character we haven't seen before.
Yeah.
Like we've seen it their back figure before, but we haven't seen face.
Yeah.
For
I'm
it
li-
to be a new character, like I wouldn't mind it, but knowing that we've seen this guy in a cover story chilling with Crocus,
Yeah. But we don't know
It-
who he is though in the cover story. That's the thing.
yeah, if it's a new character,
maybe-
I don't think it's Scopper because Scopper's got black
No.
hair and this character's got blonde-ish hair.
Well,
I mean, it could be part of the hat. We don't necessarily know if that's actually his hair.
I mean, also like we don't know if that's blonde for sure.
Yeah.
Like we
True.
are assuming that could just be gray hair.
Well, no, I think in one of the cover stories when it was colored,
How often
think it
are
was
things?
blonde.
And that cover spread was from chapter like what, 300 and something, 400 and something. It was like mad long ago. Like we can't say for
while
sure
ago.
whether or not
Couldn't
that
tell you.
was like properly colored. Like if there's one thing that's always happening in manga and stuff like that, proper colors is never. Come on, look at Trunks. Trunks got a blue and purple hair.
Mhm.
I
I mean,
yeah.
maybe we know a potential name, but not a face to the character, because we've gotten lots of name drops in the series, but no faces.
What if it's Udahara from Bleach?
Oda. I'm dead, bro. Bro broke universe.
I wouldn't be mad.
I think it's Copper. I think like with the context around it, talking about the Roger pirates, talking about the family, the only other person who can give us some dialogue, some reference of what's going on to clear everything up, especially for them, would be Scopper at this point. And hopefully maybe Scopper could teach Luffy some, give him a little hockey upgrade real quick like Rayleigh did.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he's bad.
I don't
So
know.
he's bad.
Maybe he's for science.
Well, maybe he's selling the Atom Tree because someone is.
Well, you don't think Colin is Scopper's kid?
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. I was like, I think this is probably also the husband and Colin's dad at the same time. It would make the most sense. Why would a random human become an Albath unless they were fully welcome?
Yeah, and the only other person that like, if it's Scopper, of course Chase is like, yeah, Scopper Gucci over here. Like he good people. That's family. All right, so, but yeah, Luffy just kind of sticking up for Shanks the whole time here. Getting Bellman's name wrong, egregious work. I thought Boy hadn't matured because he was remembering so many people's names this arc,
Yeah.
and he just dropped the ball here.
I think he's just excited that it's Elbaf. I don't think it's select all apply.
Equal opportunity, forgetfulness. All right. I think it's me, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so next page. Things are starting to heat up. Team Franky, Jewel Tree Atom Tour. Here, there, everywhere. It's all Atom. I guess this wood's not that rare after all. Is it really that valuable across the sea? Maybe I should go into business and start selling it. You're the one who should be stopping it, Ripley. Saul already scolded me once. This is a holy tree. Don't you go cutting pieces of it loose now. Good impression. Anyway, if you have to cut the wood and haul it off without any giants noticing, I guess that'd explain this price. as Ripley is holding Franky like an action figure, which is just like hilarious to watch. It's given it's given Nami personality right now. Like I love Ripley's character, so like I have to get my quick glaze out real quick. What's that? It's a mural. They're children's drawings from the ancient past, carved into the fossilized tree bark. It's a cultural relic due to its historical value. Really? Kids' scribbles? They're estimated to have been drawn somewhere between 800 and 900 years ago, which, if correct, put them right within the period of the Void Century. What? We gotta show this to Robin. I'll tell her about it later. I gotta say, for a drawing from Elbaf, they don't all look like giants to me. That's right. In the history we're familiar with, there were sometimes wars between the races, but never cultural exchange.
All right, here we're getting a taste. We're getting an inkling.
Little something spicy. Listen, when I was reading this the first time, I was convinced this was going to be the end of the chapter right here. I was like, I don't need anything more than this. I would have been okay.
That's true.
I would have been okay, because what's to come, I wasn't prepared for. I was sitting here, I thought my third eye opened when it gets to the end. But even here, these moments, like these images at the bottom, I'm sitting here like, yo, okay, we got Mermaid Princess, we got Emeth, and what's this like other images? Is that a mink?
Yeah, most likely.
Yeah,
I
I think so.
How we feel about everything going on in these 2 pages, y'all?
I like the exploration. I like, Franky being able to see that the Atom Tree is huge, so he feels a little less bad for, buying some off the black market to build the Sunny.
Yeah.
Hopefully he can use this to like make some upgrades to the Sunny, or I don't know, do something with it.
Oh,
Yeah.
Shade let us know that the cover story was never officially colored. That was confirmed.
Gosh darn it.
Gosh darn it.
We'll have to wait 2 years before we see this guy's hair colored in the background.
I mean, at this point, dude, I think we're gonna get the person
Probably
reveal
a
before
month
that.
at least.
Dramatic. Also, Ripley is moving heavy on this open marriage, polyamorous lifestyle. She really flirting with Franky a lot.
You think so?
I don't know, man.
I don't know about that one.
What do you
Yeah, I
mean?
don't
She said
think
she's in an
so.
open marriage. She's in an unconventional
I
marriage.
mean, she said
Open
she's just
marriage?
not married. No. She said she's just not married. Because
Yeah.
the age gap between her and her husband, it doesn't make any sense. And not really the age gap, but the longevity of their lives.
Yo, they poly. Basically, they trying to add Franky to the polycule.
No,
He's-
you're just
he's
trying to
adding,
add-
he's adding fan fiction to the One Piece universe. Stop that.
Listen, bro, listen, I'm just trying to make sure Franky don't cheat on Robin. He made sure he brought her back up. He made sure he kept her in mind. Because I'm
So you were Robin and
Frobbing all
Franky
day.
Stan, huh?
Frobbing all day.
I think I'm a Lon and
Oh, come
Same.
on, guys. What?
I ship that so
The
hard.
Robin chemistry is
Oh,
so
I'm
much
a Lon
better.
Robin.
Yes.
State
We
your
ship this
state
here.
your case. What makes Law and Robin so much more compatible?
The chemistry.
What?
It's palpable. Are you serious?
What?
Every time
How
they've
many
been
times
together,
have they spoke to each other?
it
when they
doesn't
found the
matter.
poneglyph in Wano.
Sometimes it's love at first sight. What are you talking about? You don't have to meet multiple times. I am sorry.
Mm,
You could
I
Just- where
prefer
you at?
Franky and Robin. I
All
prefer
right.
Franky and Robin.
Okay.
We're going to say 50-50 on
There's
that.
some
They're part of
adult-
the weird trio. They're in the weird trio together.
dude. Plus, he was there to hear her out and understand her during her backstory.
Unbiased.
He knows the real Robin. He understands
Law's
the
a little too
value of
young
that.
for her.
Huh?
Robin needs a man. Law's too young for her. He's a boy.
He's a boy. He's not even emotionally mature
I
yet.
don't
He's not
know,
even in touch.
Frankie's a
It's
fucking
very
robot.
mature for his age. What are
No,
you
he's not
talking about?
emotionally mature. He's not hard boiled.
That's crazy.
Hard boy. Law's 26, which isn't that bad actually.
Robin's 30. She only know 31. She only know a little boy.
Oh my
She's
God.
32.
The age gap is not that big.
It's not.
That's like a whole college education and plus more.
Oh no, Robin's 30. Robin's 30.
All right. Well, anything else we want to make of note before we go to the next pages here?
I feel like this is just like the appetizer for
This,
what's
the
to come.
teaser.
Yeah.
All right.
Matt?
Okay, I'm up.
Oh, looks like Danny still somehow ended up with the last page.
You did that. You did that.
I
You took
incepted it
the
into
fourth
Corey's
spot.
mind.
He tricked me.
You
He
see how
tricked
Corey
me.
switched with
He
me?
tricked me.
Yeah, I remember he said, he goes, I'll go next. And
He
then,
tricked
and then
me.
Corey's like, no, I'll
He
go
just let it
next.
happen too. I said, "Wow, how did that
He
work
just
out?"
let it happen.
What can I say? I Eisened you, bro.
That's crazy.
Dun, 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 dun,
Bleach
dun.
crossover in this episode today.
Telling you, that's Urahara. Telling you.
Listen, Bleach is finally getting his flowers. I think it deserves after all these years. Even as a
Agreed.
not crazy Bleach fan, I feel like I deserve better.
I think so too.
Agreed.
more.
I mean,
All right. So we got Ripley. Maybe that simply means this was nothing more than a child's dream. Go to the Walrus School. I guess this is a flash. Oh no, it's not a flashback. Sorry. The Walrus School. Yeah, eek. Listen up, children. We're in the middle of a lesson. Yeah. Now we're in the Hour Library. So this is the Harley. Sure is. Wow, it's huge and old, black and dusty. All the various myths and legends of Elbaf were created based on the original texts, since there are so many interpretations of it. And it means the sun god all the warriors of Elbaf believe in has a different personality depending on who's telling the story. Ain't that funny? May I read it? Of course! She. The story split up into 3 chapters. They say the third chapter describes the world we live in today. It's about something that's going to happen in the future. In fact, the legends of NICO are seeded all throughout the world. The one common feature is that he always shows up laughing to this rhythm. Doom da da, doom da da. Ah, hee hee. Shall I read it now? The first world. Within the earth there was fire. Mankind. And Franky is just, what the heck is he looking at?
Bro, third eye's
Boom,
opening. It's opening. It's happening. The drums of liberation. That they're gonna.
Chills again.
Oh God, they're gonna have the drums of liberation OD playing in the anime when this gets revealed.
of course.
Has to.
You
gonna
merely
look so
adopted
good.
the drums. I was born in it, molded by it.
I love that Frankie's like looking in that last panel. He's just flabbergasted. He knows
Yeah.
He's almost
immediately, like,
terrified.
the importance of what this mural suggests.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
And I
before
love how Robin just cuts off this guy. She's like, yeah, let me read it now, bro. Stop talking.
she said, "You reading too slow."
I wonder if like, well, Franky is just so profound at what he saw, and also that he knows like about Pluto.
It's because
and
he
everything like
listens
that,
to
so-
Robin when they're together on the ship and everything
Alright,
they
alright.
say. He understands and pay attention
They're
to his
crewmates.
baby girl.
They
You-
clearly spend tons
You
of time
know
together.
everybody else
clearly
on this
best
crew don't be
friends.
listening, y'all. Y'all know they don't be listening to each other. Come on.
Yes, I know that they would listen, but yes, I'm aware that Frankie is interested in what Robin has to say. But it doesn't mean anything beyond that.
It's on an intellectual basis.
Haters.
Yes.
You guys are haters. But yeah, Danny, I remember you was thinking that the Harley might be something more than just a book.
Well, isn't the Harley like the mural? And the book is just writings of what the Harley is?
No, the book is the Harley.
The book is the Harley?
Yeah,
Yeah,
book's
the
dope.
mural
Yeah.
is just a random mural.
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she's just like, yeah, some kids drew this shit. That's not the Harley. The Harley is these texts that they're reading.
Mm. Oh, okay. So,
I'm
the
surprised
text
that
is
it's only
based,
3 chapters, so
What
but the
happened?
text is based off of the mural?
No, it's its own
Um,
separate. Well, we're not even at the mural yet, but the kids drew a mural, right? Kids on Elbaf drew that, right? When we get to it, but bless you.
Based off the Harley.
I don't think they
Thank
drew it
you.
based off the Harley though. They might have actually, because they said they all
yeah,
have
we
their
don't
own.
really know.
They all have their own interpretations of the Harley. So some kids visually drew what they have maybe known, but also because this is in the voice century, what we find out is going to be even more. They might know even more visually at what things look like than the Harley text written can display. If that makes sense.
Wonder, yeah. I mean, Saul even says it, like all the myths and legends of Elbaf were created based on the Harley.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
And
book
from
might
what
be a
we're-
lot older.
From what we're seeing when he's opening it up, it seems like a lot of lines and texts. I wonder if it is also a picture book and it has like a depiction of what the mural is, because Franky's over here by himself with Ripley. Ripley, this is just another day for her. Franky's flabbergasted. Is he going to try to get the crew to come over here? He wants to.
Yeah. Well, and I think he'll definitely be like getting Robin to come there. This is the thing. I think that the mural is its own piece. That is the visual portion, and the book is just the words. And you need to combine both ideas, like both
True.
findings, to connect them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Franky doesn't know what he is seeing at all. It's just
Right.
what is all of this stuff. Maybe he might, because he wasn't even there during Skypiea, so he doesn't even know what Anel's thing looks like when we get to it. But he might notice some things, but he doesn't know exactly what's being there. Whereas like when he shows it to Robin, Robin doesn't know how to visually see what's going on. So this information is going to coincide, and Robin will probably be the person to be like, oh, okay, got it. Just one,
Okay.
each party is missing, a piece of half of the puzzle, at least for now. Oda just kind of speed ran it by giving us both it at one time. Because I remember I was telling Danny before, I was like, the only other things Oda can cut to at this point, like after like the whole partying and all that stuff, I was like, if he cuts back to that, it's a waste of time. I was like, he can either cut to Robin doing something, Franky doing something important, or it has to stay with Zoro, Nami, or all the shenanigans, like the actual crazy stuff that's going on. And it happening now. He's speed running it.
Yeah.
All right. Danny, take us home, man.
Let's get into the last page.
Oof.
The first world. Within the earth there was fire. Mankind succumbed to greed and touched the forbidden sun. The enslaved prayed, and the sun god appeared. The earth god raged, and with its serpent of hellfire shrouded the world in death and darkness. And they will never meet. The second world. Within the void there was breath. The forest god tamed demons, and the sun spread the fires of war. Those of the half moon dreamed. Those of the moon dreamed. Man killed the sun and became God, and the sea god stormed, and they will never meet.
The moon
The
haunts
third-
you. Sorry.
Nice. The third world. Within the chaos, there was emptiness. The inconvenient remnants recall the promised day and hear the voice of the half moon. The sun god dances and laughs, guiding the world to its end. The sun returns and brings a new morning, and they will surely meet.
You should do movie
Dong.
announcements, Danny.
Thank you. I've heard.
Damn. hard flash.
I try.
Bro wasn't even trying to be humble about it. He was like, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
You could be the new epic voice guy, the honest trailers dude.
Yeah. You want to refer me?
I got you. I'll send him an
Thanks,
email.
bro.
Oh
I
my
said, hey,
god.
I know a guy.
All right. How are
Uh,
we feeling about these last 2 pages, guys?
So,
So
I
much.
didn't so like I said, I didn't read this a second time, and I didn't really come with a lot. But
Bro was in real time freaking out. He said, "Oh my
no,
god!"
I read these already. But so while you were reading, I was just really examining the drawing, and I just have one theory. So like obviously, I'm assuming, and correct me if I'm wrong, maybe you guys think differently. The first page that we saw is the first world, and then the last is the third world, like the picture. I'm assuming.
I
Right.
thought
And
the right side was the first world, and the left side is the second world.
Yeah. Oh, second world. I think that's the third world, and this is why I think it's the third world. Or I guess second world. I guess I could see what you're saying, but
I actually agree with it being the third world.
I think
the
it's the
second half.
third,
Mm.
and this is why. So I think, so Emu is obviously you could see her clearly right there, right? But and then I think Emu is that big ass like creature, right? Which I think was the creature that's in the top left in the first page, and then I guess that's a Jormuntide, I think.
Oh.
And I think the Jormuntide is Loki because look at Loki, the pattern that he has on his stomach and the pattern that's on the Jormuntide. And we talked about this last time about Loki, how like he might have a devil fruit where he can turn into this like Jormuntide mythological creature.
You're talking about
Yeah.
like the Jormungandr?
The Jormungandr, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The snake that wraps around the earth.
Yeah, so I'm thinking that could maybe be his devil fruit. I don't know.
You know what's interesting about that is that a lot of people are also theorizing that the red line is the earth god.
Mm.
But I
Oh,
see what you mean.
I was
with-
actually
with-
thinking that the red serpent was the physical, like the manifestation of the actual earth line, and the earth god, who I can't really like deduce who it is right now, helped create the red line because we had the Lunarians living on top of the red line. And from how I've read this, the Forbidden Sun in my head was the Mother Flame, or
Yeah.
what was the first version of the Mother Flame. And the Mother Flame could be harnessed from NICO or even the Lunarians if they're all from the moon. And because they harnessed it out of greed, and these are like the humans that we see moving the sun, I guess, in on the right side, they said, "Nah, we don't want to live on this Earth plane with you anymore. We're gonna live. We're gonna build the red line, and we're gonna live at the top, and we're gonna separate us from you."
Hmm. Oof.
Right.
All right. Well, let's point out some of the Easter eggs first before we start to get into our crackpot theories. All the things we noticed, because I feel like we can. At this point, it's a free for all. I feel like we have so many different ways that we can interpret this, and that's the beauty of what. Oh, this is what One Piece is all about. Honestly, this is what we come here for, that we can't get from everything else. Because like this is why we needed a break week, bro. I only got how many more days to think about this chapter before the next one come out?
True.
Like three or four.
Like, I need more time, Oda. I need 2 weeks to think about this. But we see the moon, and we see what seems to be the same ship that Anel used, the Arc Maxim.
Yeah. Mhm.
Looks similar.
It looks exactly like it.
And are we calling this lightning a bluff? Like, is my boy Anel coming back?
I think
think
it's
so.
Everyone
I think
thinks it
if
is.
anything, it might be a bluff because let's be honest. Do we really think like Enel built the Arc Maxim? Did he really get the blueprints? Because if we're thinking that the Sky Island people could have been from the ancient past that settled up in the sky because they had to when the world flooded, then perhaps there was an old version of what the Arc Maxim was, which could have been Uranus, which could have been Pluton, which could have also been powered by somebody with the lightning fruit. Because again, clearly the lightning devil fruit got up in the Sky Island somehow, right? And maybe that was what originally powered that ship, just like what originally powered the little machine Tontadas on the moon as well.
Mhm.
It all lines up a little bit perfectly. I don't think that's because of where it is. We all kind of agreed that was like in the first to second
First
world.
world.
Yeah. So
I don't
like,
think it's a no.
so like, I don't think it's a. I think it has something to do with. I'm using Anel as like a reference for the fruit itself.
Okay.
Maybe there's more importance to his character in the story than we are led to believe, at least so far, because the man hasn't showed up. But Oda also took the time to give him one of the crazier cover stories in the series. And the same way, like, I think that, that's the same Noah's Ark at the bottom. It's the same way I think there's probably, the same Arc Maxim from before.
Right.
Which I'm leaning into, like maybe the devil fruit was around the Arc Maxim, or maybe it was somewhere up there, and somebody else has been getting this fruit to do said like powers and things like that. We do see, I think, some early design, like a Skypean by Noah's Ark, I believe. Down at the bottom, we see somebody with wings, as you see all the tool of everything going into the Ark.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the right side is only the first world, and I think the left side is only the second world, and the third world has been yet to be found out because it hasn't. The third world is currently the present, and this was made during the Void Century, so they wouldn't know exactly, even though it is like a prediction. But that's kind of like maybe where the One Piece comes in. But you see like the ancient civilization kind of building everything. We see what seems to be, I don't know if these are devil fruits that they're loading onto the ark, or maybe it's parts of the Mother Flame. Since we get that.
On which side? On the left side?
On the right side. On the first side.
Okay,
so I'm still talking about the first world, because everything that they're writing here, like within the earth there was fire, mankind succumbed to greed and touched the forbidden sun. I think that's the Mother Flame right there.
I think I agree with that being the Mother Flame, because that's the forbidden sun in the story that they're harnessing. They look like suns.
And maybe the power of, the Mother Flame also maybe led to what maybe birthed the devil fruits or early devil fruit power. And like they're saying the earth god rage with a serpent of fire could be the same way where they kind of like talk about how the sea has its own rage. Maybe because they did that, whatever this serpent is, whoever it is, kind of caused the whole war. And maybe this first rendition, it could be Lily, or maybe it could be Emu. I'm not sure, but I think maybe
in the first world,
maybe the original Emu is this bird that's at the top.
Yeah,
that's fighting.
Yeah, I actually agree
serpent.
with that.
Yeah.
I agree with that. I think I think the middle is very small, which is the second world in my perspective, because something about the giants saying, and I don't know if I'm interpreting this correctly, the way Ripley explains it in some previous panels is that this is the way we understand events of history. There's been war between races, but never cultural exchange. That cultural exchange piece, I think, is them saying they've never actually been involved. If in the last half, in the right half, there's giants being depicted in there, which makes me feel like they are, this makes me think it's the third world because they haven't been involved in any of these altercations.
But on the left side, it seems to be that we have what was already kind of documented to us in the prior, altercation, which led to the Void Century happening. So we see Emeth, who was part of that. Some people think that whale may have something to do with the whale tree on Zoe. Can't say for sure. I know some people wanted to say Laboon is collection.
Yeah, I heard it was. I saw something about Laboon.
Yeah, I'm fine with either or. You know what I mean? Only because, but this looks like a different type of whale than what Laboon is. But I don't know how literal we want to be with this, since these are kids' drawings. You know what I mean? A whale is a whale to them. We see what looks to be a Sulong mink behind that whale, a Lunarian in front of that whale, with the wings, darker wings instead of the white ones, and the flame above it. Sun god NICO, an ancient giant. It's a mermaid princess, Otantada, other pirates. Let's see, the land of Wano, I think, samurai.
Yeah, I see that.
A regular mink, a regular sized giant, and then we see what seems to be somebody taking the Mother Flame, which could be, some people think it's Emu, as well as with their 5 Gorosei. But it looks like there's one person in the front that's like falling over. And they do make note of being able to like spread demon power, like tame demons or whatever, things like that. And maybe that could be something similar. That's why I think it's the second world is on the left side, because he was able to do it. But those are all the details, at least I noticed imagery wise. Some people are making some thoughts that possibly Franky is here on purpose to try to be like, oh, well, he's Pluton. He's the ancient weapon. Maybe he could turn into Pluton, because his whole bounty poster, his bounty poster is a picture of the Sunny instead of it being himself. So maybe like he makes himself into, I don't know, who knows? But that's everything here. Let's hear your theories. That's all the details I noticed. If you guys know anything else, have at it, guys.
Do we think that the Mother Flame? So you guys think the Mother Flame is being like bits and pieces are on the first page are being like brought up, right? That's what you guys said.
I think it's like maybe like conduits, like some kind of storage unit.
Yeah.
So do we think that the two creatures are fighting and creating the Mother Flame?
I don't
No.
necessarily think that.
Because it looks like they're like falling, like pieces are in the air and everything like that. See
Well,
True.
I think it's like they harvested the mother flame power, and we do know that you can have pieces of the mother flame based on what happened in Egghead, and it seems like everybody's abandoning because we see the Ark, we see people escaping. It seems like,
Yeah.
and the ancient civilization, like we're seeing like factories the same way we saw in Wano and towers and technology that we've never really seen before. Like, so we can see that that's the ancient civilization falling, people running and maybe trying to preserve energy with taking a bunch of mother flames, or it could be devil fruits, either one, right? And loading them onto the Ark, which it seems like whoever this is with this crown on, very reminiscent to emo silhouette, is trying to escape. Which I think this is also, some people think that this is Zunisha, but it's like the Ark is inside Zunisha. I can't.
Yeah, I don't really think so. I've seen that theory, but I don't really buy that one.
Maybe it's supposed to depict Zunisha and the Ark coming together. It's not necessarily the Ark inside of Zunisha, but them traveling together.
Yeah.
That's
So
true.
what we're seeing in the middle here, I think we can all agree, is the Adam Tree Yggdrasil, right? So yeah, Yggdrasil.
Yggdrasil.
Yggdrasil or Yggdrasil?
Yggdrasil.
I'm not even gonna.
Let's call it the Adam Tree.
Sounds
Is the-
great.
You don't
the
say like
Adam
the
tree.
yig in like that, like it's like an egg sound.
Okay.
Yggdrasil.
Yeah.
The Great Adam Tree is in the middle. I know that in One Piece, dragons are a thing, and perhaps that thing in the middle is just a dragon that was sitting on top of the third layer of Elbaf in what is where the gods reside in Norse mythology? What is that area called? Where like
Valhalla?
Zeus? No, not Valhalla.
Olympus.
No, he's talking about in the story. There was the underworld, and then there's the sun realm, and then
Oh,
there
heaven.
was the heaven realm.
The upper world.
I think it's just called
Right?
heaven realm.
Yeah.
Asgard.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
They called it
Asgard.
Asgard in this in the translation, or are you just looking it up for
No,
like
no,
regular
I'm just
lore?
looking it up in Norse mythology.
Oh,
That's
Norse
where,
mythology. I think you're talking about within this. My fault.
No, in Norse mythology, because that's what the giants. That's what Elbaf is kind of based off of.
Okay.
So if we know that in the first world, everything went to shit, everything's like terrible. We know that Elbaf was warlands. People fought on Elbaf. What if, because of the size of Elbaf and perhaps its resources, that's where a lot of the wars took place? And that's kind of like why they're all leaving from Elbaf. Because I think I wasn't on the same boat as you, Corey. In the beginning, I kind of thought that left page was the third world, but I think you kind of convinced me into thinking that it was the second world. So what if they all kind of convened from Elbaf and left there to fight what we now believe is Emu?
I just thought maybe the tree was supposed to be a representation of just. I thought it was just like what the kids may have used as a divider. I kind of just took it like this is kind of like almost like a storybook in itself. Like the tree would be the middle part, and they just have the tree there because like the Adam tree is important, and this is located at the Adam tree. So I just kind of like look at it as like the one is just one side of the story, the other side is the other side of the story. So for the third one to be drawn when they don't know how it's going to happen yet, like that's essentially what was predicted in the One Piece. But these people wouldn't know what's predicted in the imagery of the One Piece, or like whatever's going to be said in that information that Roger found out that made him laugh, because Roger essentially whatever he saw said, "Oh, this ain't my problem. Fuck that. I'm out of here. He said I'm gonna deal with that another time." And also, Oda's definitely playing tricks with us, especially with like not tricks, but like he's playing around with a lot of current event things going on in the world. I think, and I think the fact that the first world kind of being a representation of a World War I, and the second world being a representation of a World War II. And now we're entering a crazy where things are bubbling up, not only in real world shit, but like in this story where now we're entering World War III. And he's like, surely maybe there were some things that went wrong with like Joy Boy maybe never actually got to fight Emu. Maybe they never met face to face.
See, that's where I kind of fall into my like ancient aliens conspiracy theory bag, because in the first world we see that within the earth there was fire, mankind succumbed to greed and touched the forbidden sun, right? And we know that in Greek mythology, there's the ancient city of Atlantis, and that we know that Atlantis fell because the people's hubris in the country, and it ended up being their downfall. So the gods struck them down and sank the country. So
Plus, we already know from the whole egghead theme. We're talking about 3,000 years into the future. You know what I mean? So this was
3,000 years into the future. What do you mean?
So
because Egghead was old, so this has to be like at least 1,500 years. My mindset is this has to be at least 1,500 years past, because the second world is Void Century. Void Century was 800, 900 years past.
Yeah.
So there has to be substantial time between second world and first world, and that means civilization was advanced still, because civilization's technology collapsed during second world.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, so they were at their peak at one point, but they got so greedy, as we could see. Like,
There's like little factories there.
Yeah, those are factories on the right. The same way they had Wano with all those factories. We've seen this imagery already. The smoke coming from it, everything. Like, they were extremely technologically advanced, and everything we see on the right side is insane compared to what we see on the left side. Where the left side, where we're saying that Joy Boy is essentially the first pirate, and we see what essentially to be a bunch of pirates coming together, and a bunch of people who we've heard worked with Joy Boy in the past tried to stop Emu, but he lost.
True.
So I don't know. Anybody?
I buy into your alien theory, except I think, like, I don't know if you were going there, but the aliens are like the Lunarians. They came to Earth, gave people things, and then they took advantage.
Yeah, because we see that the people, we see the moon in the backgrounds, and we know that the Tontata Ottoman, race came from there. So, Enel's up there right now, and it's kind of, from what we're seeing briefly, is like a barren wasteland. So they left the moon to come here.
Yeah, because of resources. They needed resources here on Earth. And also, like, Emu obviously wanted his lick back against the Lunarians for coming against him. But Emu could never really get back the Shandorians, because, like, they went to the sky, right? The whole, they were up there, and then the Golden City they were trying to get, which some people believe that the Golden City was originally in Wano, because Wano was actually called a city of gold before. So they think maybe it was moved from there, perhaps, from Wano to what would have been Shandora, which then eventually Shandora got sent up. And the world government was trying to actually find it, it seems like, but it wasn't there. They was like, oh yeah, kill bro.
Okay.
I don't know.
I just want to know, like, what is in front of Franky? Do we think that that's just like an empty space, or do you think that Franky is standing in front of something?
Oh, you mean at the base of the tree?
I think
because
it's
the
probably
lightning
an
bolt,
space.
the lightning bolt that's coming from the quote unquote Arc Maxim, it's not hitting Zunisha. It's going past, well, not Zunisha, but it's going past the elephant figure towards the center of the tree.
I don't think Oda would do us like that, bro.
I think that you might have a point there, because when you said the tree was Adam, I'm like 50 split. I'm like, I think it's Adam, but I also think is it Eve, the devil fruit tree? Because in second, because they mentioned second world here, and second world I think is when the concept of devil fruit came, because in the first world they said they killed the sun god, so real Nika had to exist at the time if we're talking about the real sun god here. Then with the death of the sun god and the prayer of the half moon clan of D, the people of the moon, the actual Lunarians, dreamt up of the Nika fruit. And this is where we get their dreams and their aspirations and the reincarnation of Nika here. So my initial thought was Eve. I think that's Eve, right? The one where the devil fruit comes from. I'm not 100% sure.
Eve is the one that's for Fishman Island, I think.
Okay, so it's the devil fruit tree. I'm not 100% sure. But that's, and if lightning is coming from the tree, that could be a possibility. There's a devil fruit, or the originations of the powers of the devil fruit tree could have helped, add energy to that.
Yeah. So I mean, I I feel like it's striking the tree,
right?
not coming from the tree. Because if it's what if it strikes the tree and then somehow like devil fruits are created somehow, possible, and then next thing you know, people have the abilities to turn into gods and different types of creatures.
Yeah,
and real different abilities.
I'm hoping, and this is just me with my Anel agenda, I want Anel just to come back in the story so bad. I want Anel to come back in the story so bad, bro, because like this could just mean the rumble fruit may be just more useful in regards to an energy use. Because like we haven't seen any other devil fruit that can provide that type of energy besides Anel's fruit.
Okay.
Like there's like the mother flame is its own kind of different thing, so I'm not going to compare it to like the flare fruit and the magma fruit, but like Anel having the power of electricity, which like if you think about it, the fact that Luffy beat him is lucky as hell, right? But right, lucky as hell. What are the odds? If it was anybody else, they kind of struggling.
Yeah, I mean, I think lucky in the sense that it was the one guy that has the one power that can, I guess, counter it, you know?
Yeah. And maybe it could be that, listen, you were supposed to be allies with Luffy this whole time, bro. Back in the history, you guys were the Naruto and Sasuke reincarnated.
It's crazy.
I really want to know what this whale at the top is about. Like, does it really have anything to do with what's on Wano? What is in Wano? What is up with the whale tree? And why is it raining? Why is it Zoe? Yeah, and Zoe. And why is it raining above the whale? What's the deal with that?
Let it rain, clear it out. I don't know, man.
Going back to the second world, though, we see that man killed the sun and became God. So obviously, I guess humans became the celestial dragons, and then the sea god stormed. Is the sea god Poseidon? And if it is Poseidon, obviously she would have been disappointed that Joy Boy had died in that war. And we know that Poseidon can control the Sea Kings. Can Sea Kings influence the ocean's currents to a point where it would flood the world? And I say this because we know that fishermen can influence the currents to steer ships into each other or into a different direction. So if enough Sea Kings come together, can they flood the world? Can they create the Grand Line?
My counter question to yes. So my question to you is going to be, when did the Calm Belt get created?
Yeah, to separate that from Emu and the world government and everything like that.
Right, because I think that I know we've been talking about Emu a little bit. I think that when we see Emu with the little crown, I think that might have been Emu as a normal person. I don't think Emu was born the way that he is now, maybe with all these demonic powers. But then after the first world or in the second world, I don't think Lily could have, been with him the way that he is. I think he must have acquired that power between the first and the second world, or within the second world. And then he became like a god figure at some point.
Following that train of logic right there that you just suggested, we see that Emu-like figure on top of that Zunisha-like figure heading into the Adam tree, the Eve tree, whatever it is. And we see what could be the forest god on top of it. What if he took that god's power? Because as we see on the left side, he looks strikingly similar to that god. But I do believe that they're two different beings.
Yeah, I agree with that. And maybe he gets different abilities at some point that can morph his being. Because I don't know if it's here. I think it's here where they talk about the demons that the forest god can command. So a lot of this, when I was reading it, I read it and then I looked at the illustration. I think I focus a lot more on the words. Because when he said the forest god tamed demons, we know that Emu has the ability to create the Gorosei demons, and essentially they've been alive for centuries because of this ability, and basically they wither away once these abilities are taken. That's why I think that the little person is when Emu is still like human, and this is, the people of the earth, that took the power, and then at some point became the forest god, potentially acquired these powers to control demons, and this is the second world.
You cooked there. That's I'm thinking that the bird is the illustration of like maybe Emu transformed, and maybe
Right,
that
right.
left side looks like a combination of a human and that bird.
That's
I think
true.
it's a
That's true.
dragon. I don't think it's a bird. I think it's a dragon.
I'm just calling it
Well,
a
have you
bird, bro.
seen-
I don't know. It's a thing with wings. What do you want from me?
It does have
One Piece-
wings.
The One Piece
Yeah.
world is obsessed with dragons. We know that.
Well, I don't know what I forget what the name is called, but I did see this theory about what emu can transform into, and it's like this certain like crazy figure. I don't know what it is, and then it just made so much sense. It's like some Japanese like creature. I don't know.
Well, are
And
there
it
like
just looks like it?
are there any like maybe like I haven't looked
Oh.
into it because I'm not the lore that I know on like Japanese myth and like yokai and all that stuff like that. Is there like a forest god that kind of looks like that, like in like Japanese like culture mythology?
Shit.
Or
I'm sure someone's about to find it.
I mean, listen, we all can't be Tekken 101, but somebody could figure it out.
You know what's one thing that we're like, now that we have this context, and Mel, let's follow like your train of thought. I'm not ready to get off this train, right? One thing we're forgetting is two things. One, the power of laws, Opie Opie no Mi,
Mhm.
and being able to turn someone into an immortal being. And two, why Doflamingo thought that being immortal and having that fruit would have allowed him to use Mary Joie's power, Mary Joie's secret weapon. How does something
treasure,
like
right?
immortality come into play in the mural that we're seeing?
Well,
I mean, that's a really good question.
I mean, immortality. I mean, it just means that Emu's just been able to be alive this whole time. I thought.
Yeah.
But why did Doflamingo say, if I had that fruit?
I think he may think he knows more than what he knows, right? Like Doflamingo, I think, is an educated person, and he was so close. Like he may have been close to thinking he knew what was going on and how to go about everything. But if he really knew more or knew everything at that point, I think that's what the One Piece is really for. To really kind of break down everything. I don't think Doflamingo fully grasps the grandness of the history of Emu and the Celestial Dragon. I feel like he knows a little bit that he knows and feels like he is owed it with his privilege, his Celestial Dragon privilege. But it's so much deeper than he realizes that Emu probably has a whole bunch of other things going on with the immortality fruit. Being like this forest god that may have found a way to create devil fruits, breaking off the power from the tree here and things like that.
I think that perhaps the immortality comes into play when using a powerful energy source such as the Forbidden Sun, the Eternal Flame, and being able to use it to influence a creature like Zunisha, being able to use something like the Arc Maxim.
Or maybe every time Emu uses their powers, that's low-key killing themselves. But because Emu's immortal,
I
they're
mean, maybe
fine.
the only reason he can use it is because he's immortal. Because we see that the Gorosei are not immortal, and once they use the abilities or don't use the abilities, they're dust. So, I mean, I think you have a good point there, Danny. There might be a need to attain power through immortality or gain more, and I think with the fact that centuries have passed, and with the fact that I don't think devil fruit existed in the first world yet, there must have been a way to acquire immortality in a different way. As it's been mentioned, devil fruit has kind of been dreamt up. It's like ideas, but it doesn't necessarily mean these things perhaps didn't exist in the first world. So there could have been a different way for him to achieve immortality, but then that was birthed as well through the Opie Opie no Mi.
I mean, maybe having
I see what you mean.
and also like maybe having the Opie Opie no Mi shit. I think I lost my point. Oops. Oh well, lost it. I had it right there.
Yeah, no, I get it. Maybe there was another way to become immortal.
Right. Like during that time, because we don't really understand in ancient time, like with all of this technology, all of this advancement, also Lunarians like living with humans and stuff like that. What were the possibilities?
There we go. I got my thought back. The whole fact that there's the DK not being able to have more than one devil fruit, right? Or the theory that you would blow up, right? Having more than one devil fruit. Being immortal means that potentially Emu has mad different fruits.
All for one status.
Could be true.
I mean,
Could be the reason why he has different god forms as well.
when you say it that way, you kind of make me hate it. When you say all for one status, if he just shows up, well, that's about Danny. I was like, damn. I was like, well, I didn't mean to give Emu all for one. Like, I didn't mean to give him like every devil fruit power, but it could be a thing. He's able to grant people power. Like, it's just a lot of abilities. It seems like he's able to do. Even what seems to be Gunko's like arrow ability. We're not for sure whether or not that was Gunko attacking Sabo or maybe that was coming from Emu directly. But Emu giveth and Emu taketh.
True.
That's true. So one thing that's been bothering me a lot, and I could like hit my head against the desk thinking about this one. It's and they never will meet again. Like, who's they?
Who's what?
Who's they? Who's they? They say they so many times. Who is they?
Maybe it's the sun god and Emu, or maybe it's the sun god and
Maybe
Lily.
it's the sun god and the forest god.
Yeah, I don't know. They said it twice. So like this happened once in the
They
first
said
world.
it twice. In the first world, in the second world, but then they're supposed to meet in the future. So who meets in the future?
So maybe they're talking about like one, like, so let's say sun god and forest god don't meet, then it's sea god and forest god don't meet, and then maybe the third world is like they all meet or some shit.
I mean, I think they meet because they fought, though. They fought, so they had to have met.
I think that the Sea Kings kind of spoiled it during a flashback when Roger was down in the ocean with Odin, and they could hear the Sea Kings through the voice of all things saying that the sovereigns will be born soon.
Okay.
And that they'll meet again. So
like Shirahoshi and like
Shirahoshi, Momo, and Luffy, maybe.
If there's three, yeah.
Well, like Momo's the only other person we've seen.
Day is ambiguous here.
Yeah, he's the only other person we've seen with like the whole voice of all things,
right?
In the whole series, you know what I mean?
Okay. Okay.
So this is the one time. This is the one thing in regards to the timeline of when people were going to be birthed. The people. So I was on the fence with like at first I thought the half moon meant specifically the Kozuki clan because of the whole tattoo thing. I'm okay with it being the D clan as well, but the Kozuki does kind of make some weird sense to me because Toki time traveled,
right?
And
she traveled from the Void Century.
Void Century.
Okay.
And her having that connection with Wano, then birthing Momonosuke, somebody of that half moon, and Momonosuke being the person with the half moon, being met with somebody with the full moon, whatever, and then being met with like the sea god, like all those things in tandem. Like Roger couldn't do it because Shirahoshi wasn't born yet, and Momonosuke was a child, and Luffy was, I guess, maybe, I mean, depends on your take on it. Some people feel like Luffy was not destined to it, but maybe Luffy was destined to become Joy Boy or Sun God, Nika. Who knows, right? I don't want to like put the exact thought on it because I know some people just have their own harsher opinions about it. But maybe that could be an idea.
I mean, I could buy into that. I just had a thought when you're talking about the half moons. Well, the fact that they're called half moons must mean that they're like descendants of the moon. Why would you call them half moons?
I heard a theory that those of the half moon represents the D, which could represent a smile, which could represent
I heard the same theory.
The like faction of people who believe that the sun god is a god of laughter, and then there's those of the moon dreams, and it's those people who believe that the sun god is a god of destruction. It's just two different like groups of people,
right?
It's like a change.
Okay.
So, question. Wait a minute. This is what I'm reading right now, right? And this is I'm thinking.
Bro said,
right?
I've been locked in his
brain. Sorry, I'm like, okay. So this is what I'm thinking. So I'm thinking we said we think Emu didn't have any powers. They were just a regular human person, right? Second world comes, man killed Sun, so I think Emu killed Joy Boy, and then became God. a god, and then they will surely meet. It's saying the sun returns, brings a new morning, and they will surely meet. Sun god Nika meets this new god, which Emu could be the god of, I don't know, whatever. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're
That's what I'm-
Okay.
So that's what I think. I think that the sun god never met, because I don't think the sun god and, let's say Emu turns into the is the what god? Let's just give any
the
kind of
forest god.
god. The forest god. Let's say Emu's the forest god, right? Wasn't the forest god when he or she killed Joy Boy, the sun god, right?
I think
And so they never clearly met.
I think the forest god is what Emu eventually became and named themselves, right? There was already what was called an earth god, right? And it seems to be what Emu was, and maybe Emu fought against that earth god and then started calling themselves the forest god, and then had all these somehow harnessed all the devil fruit abilities. Maybe at one point Emu was the hero, right? Who they thought they was a liberator. And then it reached a point that like all that time passed, Emu then turned into kind of a villain in a way.
Yeah.
Right? Emu was trying to keep order of everything, etc., etc. And then people was like, all right, you're trying to like keep everybody boxing to do exactly what you want and what you think is best. And we just want to live our lives freely. Like, we need to be free of the choices we make and the mistakes that we want to make. But you don't want to. We've seen it done before, right? I don't know if you watched Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds, but there was like the main the spoilers for anybody for Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds, mad old. But Yusei Fudo, the final villain ended up being like a future version of himself that was just trying to stop people from dueling because dueling was going to destroy the world. So maybe Emu was somebody who was trying to save the world, got crazy power hungry, and everybody was like, yo, dude, you don't know what's best. And this is kind of that revolt against that control. But Emu was part of like that first world that was greedy and hungry and like did all these technological advancements to the point that it pissed off the Earth God, and it kind of hit like a reset. But then by the time the second one came, it was like, okay, well, now I got to hide this information because there was some shit that happens that makes me look kind of sus.
Yeah.
Yeah. They talk about 4 gods here, and the only god I can't really pinpoint is the Earth God. Like, who would want to build the red line, and then after that point, the Lunarians would inhabit the red line?
So I now like looking at the first page a little bit more. So I'm thinking, so we think Emu is facing the tree, right? Do we all agree on that?
I think both.
The one with the
Emu.
crown?
So yeah. So I think, because it's saying the Earth God rage and with the serpent of hellfire. So the Earth God isn't the serpent. The Earth God is controlling the serpent. So Emu might be controlling the serpent, fighting against this other thing right here.
So I thought Emu was that other thing, and I thought the Earth, the serpent was from the Earth God, or is the Earth God. And then the one on the left is like Emu in the hybrid form of them and that bird, because it looks like a combination of a human having, I keep saying bird, sorry, Danny, dragon. Emu looks like a combination of like a dragon that's like in a hybrid form. We've seen it before, except this one has wings, right? Kaido didn't have wings when he was in this hybrid form. So that's why I think it's a combination of both. But like, I also like kind of live on this theory where I think Emu has like Lily's body for some reason.
Okay.
That's twisted
maybe,
love.
Yeah, I mean, maybe Emu like transferred bodies or something.
Room shambles and then immortality. Come on.
I mean, that could be part of the immortality piece. And I buy the fact, like, the forest god in the middle, if that's what it is. It looks like it has wings. It just looks upside down, and could be like a more enhanced version of what we see on the left.
You know what's crazy about the forest god? If I think about it, going back to Momonosuke, we know Momonosuke is a pivotal figure in this. And if we're thinking that, and they will meet who's they, and it's more than just Luffy and Shirahoshi, and it does include Momonosuke. Momonosuke is a dragon. He has the Kaido's devil fruit. He can turn into a dragon.
Yeah.
he has the voice of all things.
Right.
We know he's a pivotal figure. Maybe he is the reincarnation of the forest god, just like Luffy's the reincarnation of the sun god.
Okay.
I don't know if I'm buying that.
So many things. Theories.
Like Momonosuke being the forest god.
The reincarnation, like not the reincarnate. Well, not just the same way that Luffy's the quote unquote reincarnation of the sun god.
But I don't.
I think the
know
thing
about
that'll
that.
throw me is the fact that the forest god can tame demons.
Yeah,
Because
like,
I feel like that might be a key component of the forest god.
yeah, and
Well,
that's screaming. That's
Kaido
screaming
was-
everything Emu's done. Bro,
Mhm.
at this point, we picking the lesser. Like that's baby work what Kaido was doing. Emu
Kaido was
literally is summoning demons. Like he summoned full on demons on. He's giving them their powers, and he took Saturn's power away. He said, "Give me that." And then he turned to a bunch of moons. You know what I mean? Like this is much grander than Kaido having whatever his beast pirates and all this other stuff. Like these ain't demons. This is literal, bro. Like a Gyuki, the bird thing that they fought, the boar. I can't remember all the horse that Venus Juro was. We see now a Cerberus that's coming out of a sword. Like this all is screaming what Emu has been doing this whole time, which is taming demons, granting demon power to people, and taking it away as he feels fit.
So, okay, when it's in the third world, when you were saying like I don't know like who's they will surely meet. Is it just like maybe this is like too obvious and I'm looking to and like I'm trusting the words a little too much, but maybe the voice of the half moon meets the sun god and that's what it's saying.
The voice of the
Like, if you, like, read it, right? So-
stay and hear the voice of the half moon. That's where I think about Toki traveling
That's
through
the will
time.
of D.
Oh,
Yeah,
I,
I was gonna say that might be the will of D.
I thought it was
Yeah.
Toki traveling through time.
No.
Like the inconvenient
Although
remains,
Toki
the
did-
inconvenient remains. Recall the promised day and hear the voice of the half moon, which is
Well, wait,
Toki
that's
giving
the
the
third.
speech.
I
That's
think
a third world, though.
Yeah, the third
think
world. This is
Oh,
the third
okay,
world
she was
passage.
alive during the third world. Okay,
Mhm.
but not many people heard her speech. I mean,
yeah.
we're not even at the promised day yet.
Yeah,
I think
but
that the
she
inconvenient remains are the people of the D.
Okay.
Anybody with the initial D.
Mm.
And then the voice of the half moon is the will of D.
That-
Yeah.
I can lean more towards that. Like I believe that is more correct than what I'm saying, but I feel like that. I mean I'm not gonna lie about it, but I think that there is a way that what Toki did does seem very much like this because the whole time traveling thing forward in time, traveling with the Roger Pirates, giving that whole speech about the dawn, birthing Momonosuke,
I mean, that's a
who
good
then
point.
ended up
She
being
helped
what
pass
needed
on
to
parts
connect.
of Will of D. Okay.
Like she essentially
Okay.
speed ran by time traveling the birth of Momonosuke with Odin, which is Momonosuke seeming to be a piece, if he has the voice of all things, needed for these three different maybe trifectas to meet, right? The people of the half moon, the sun god, which is Luffy, and then the sun returns and brings a new morning and things like that. Like
Okay.
maybe the whole opening Wano's borders, there's something with that, but I'm also just totally okay with saying like, hey, maybe that's what the D means. The D just means people that are half Lunarian and half human. I don't know. Maybe Luffy's a Lunarian.
What are we overall giving this chapter though?
This is a 10.
How are we all
It's-
feeling?
It's a 10 out of
This is
10.
a
not
10.
I mean,
all.
the fact that we've been discussing this, like trying to wrap our heads around it for probably over an hour, definitely a 10 out of 10.
Oh, it's-
And I feel like we're
Close
still
to
not close.
two.
I'm still not close. I'm like, is that Zunisha carrying
this is
the
why we
arc?
need a break.
This is why we need a break.
I mean, we'll get a break after the next chapter, right? There's a break coming after
I don't
11:39.
know. Did you see that?
I saw
I know
that
we're getting
somewhere.
4 chapters straight. I just don't know if we're getting 1 more or 2 more. I lost track, honestly.
I heard that the next one, 11:39, and then after that, there's a break. That's what I've been seeing.
Listen, bro.
I spent way too much time on Reddit today. Look.
if
He's like, trust me.
she
I
acting
know.
like she Nico Robin over here. She was like, I've read the text. I read the Harley today. I see
Stop.
it. I read the Harley. I see Za in the comments. I think he's saying Dragon is gonna make his move. I love how even in the paint, Dragon is still looking off into space and not doing anything. You know what? What if it is Dragon? Maybe what if this fruit is Dragon's fruit?
What if Dragon's the forest god? One of the gods.
Let's see Dragon move first.
Let's see Dragon change his head position. I don't know. Bro needs to do something. Za said 11:39 will be 13 pages too, and we have 13. A break. We have a break after 11:39. So thank God.
Yeah, I think we have time.
How did Luffy get in your lap?
Oh, he hasn't been. You haven't been seeing him trying to hunt me the whole time.
I did not realize, bro.
Yeah,
I saw him come into frame like maybe 2 minutes ago.
Yeah, he's really been wanting attention.
He's cute.
Oh, he's just a baby.
Corgi D. Luffy.
Follow him on Instagram, Corgi D. Luffy. Oh, so your dog is of the half moon.
Yeah, he's the half chonk.
So we all at 10 out of 10, 11 out of 10, 12 out of 10. Like, do we have
10
any
out of
notes?
10. Like, this is what you want out of One Piece. This is like bringing me back to the Skypiea days when we're getting like ancient history lore. I just want to know more.
Dude,
like, this isn't even any action. It's all just lore.
It's what makes One Piece like so great. It's what keeps you like going, because you know that One Piece lore is the world building of One Piece is what makes One Piece and what keeps us still reading after I don't know how many years.
Yo, the Skip Skypiea people are looking crazy right now. They are looking crazy,
Looking dumb.
because like we're seeing. They showed us the sun god fighting the serpent god in Skypiea. Like, I've seen the images and I'm like, Oda, I don't want to overglaze you and say that you're the GOAT and your foreshadowing is like crazy, but at the same time, dude, you was thinking about the sun god back then.
Luffy versus Loki, and then he joins him to fight.
Yeah, I mean they were talking about that snake in Skypiea or the Shandoran snake. They said was also like a god, right? Very reminiscent of this serpent here.
Right. They talked about those gods
he
back
is a
then
god.
too. They talked about the forest god, the sun god, and other gods.
Yeah,
a couple other gods.
Because they said, oh, they do the sacrifices to that serpent to the sun god.
Mm-hmm.
So to pray that they have good stuff. Like, this could be all stuff that happened from the first world. They're like, okay, well, the sun god and the serpent god, they had a fight. So, in order to like make sure we're good,
oh my God,
we sacrifice
that's actually
ourselves.
A really good point. Because what if the sun god, if the Lunarians and everyone in Sky Island are related, what if the serpent is what protected them? And in order for the serpent to continue to protect them, they make their sacrifices.
And then humanity found the Forbidden Sun, and they were like, "Man, we don't need your sacrifices anymore."
That could
The
be
devil
it.
fruits.
Taking
Then devil fruits happened.
Yeah, they got the mother flame essentially. Maybe they ventured off and found a way to harness the power of the sun, which is the mother flame. Since we're like traveling to the moon casually, I can't rule out that we just somehow figure out how to how to harness the power of the sun. Vegapunk has showed us crazier things. So a civilization being so greedy, in which our civilization that we know would love to be able to harness the sun like power, doesn't seem that far off here. And having the sun
Oda
god
loves
protect that
taking
mother
from
flame.
real world shit.
Yeah.
The world
Mother
is
Flame
flooding.
is just another nuclear fusion, nuclear power.
Yeah.
Yeah. Damn. All right. So thank you guys for joining. This was a big boy.
This is a long
2
episode.
hours.
This was longer than remember, Mel, we did 2 chapters. It wasn't even this long. We did 2 chapters at one time.
No. It was not this long.
Yeah, we did 11:32, 11:33, and I'm like, man, we've been here longer than that, and this is just one chapter. But y'all, let's go around, see if you guys have any final thoughts, any final things you want to get out in regards to this chapter. Matt, you want to leave us off with your final takeaways?
I think I am tapped out. I mean, I think everything I said, I think I'm just more focused on who each character is in those pictures. I think that's where I keep going back to. But yeah,
Bro's he's about to be dreaming of this picture in his sleep. He was
I
like,
know,
yeah,
I
man.
know.
I was like looking at that mural.
I'm just gonna be dreaming of Loki as that serpent. About it.
That could be crazy. What about you, Mal?
I mean, I'm mostly thinking about the next chapter. If we don't get a face reveal or like some movements before we go on break, you know, I'm gonna be a little sad because this buildup was like really tense, really, really tense. This was a fantastic chapter. I can't remember like, yeah, I guess I can remember. Like Egghead was huge lore drop, and
Yeah.
seeing like lore drop like this, I mean, I feel like in such a short period of time from my perspective, especially after the eternity that we spent in Wano,
Yeah.
was pretty stellar. I'm like, you know, kudos to you, Oda. Thank you.
I think what's impressive about the lore drops this time around, especially in this chapter specifically, compared to Egghead, is that Egghead did a lot of, unfortunately, like we're fiends for One Piece, so I feel like we're more in the weeds than the casual One Piece fan. So I think Egghead did a lot more confirming of theories and ideas we, as people who paid attention OD, has already picked up on, and was more of a benefit to like the casual. Like I really haven't been paying attention to every single detail. I just kind of, I'm in the journey. I'm here for the fights. I'm here for the vibes. Especially because Oda giving that note of like, well, if you haven't been paying attention now, if you didn't watch the series at all or read the series at all, you can start from this point because I'll speed run confirm you the things that I've been leaving the crumbs for.
Sure.
But like this lore here is like recontextualizing everything we found versus like confirming ideas we've already thought of.
That's true.
What about you, Danny? You got any final things for this chapter before we sign off?
Again, Oda's in his Ancient Aliens bag, guys. You know, there's literal aliens in the series, ancient civilizations. Did the Lunarians build the pyramids? We don't know.
Could be.
And I might be Lunarian.
That's a great question.
If I dye my hair white, I might be king.
You need that too.
Might be a future cosplay.
I'm just saying.
But yeah, I'm excited. I just at this point, I just need somebody to like. I need the Straw Hats to be more involved now in like the ancient history, the lore, Joy Boy, Nika the Sun God. Franky's clearly full face into it. Robin and Chopper are reading the Harley. I need someone to look at Luffy. I mean, people are already calling Luffy Nika, but I really need someone to like grab him and shake him.
Oh yeah, like somebody needs to tell
Yeah.
Luffy, like, you are Sun God. You are. Hey, sir, we're talking about you the whole time. He's like, huh?
I don't think he'll ever believe it though. That's the thing. I don't
He
think
already
he'll
said
ever
he's like,
believe it.
"Nah,
But I think that's
doesn't
the
have anything
beauty
to
of
do with me."
That's the beauty, though.
I need somebody else on the crew to verify
Yes.
it for
Well,
me
we-
to at
we-
least be okay with it.
We need everybody on the crew but Luffy at least to know that bro is Sun God, Joy Boy, Nika, because like we know he's just gonna be like, man, I'm Monkey D. Luffy. I am Odewa.
I
I
mean,
feel
that
like
should be
Robin
Jinbei.
is kind of already onto it. Like
Yeah.
I feel like Robin's kind of already onto it.
Yeah, like everybody seems to know bits and pieces because, like, you know, some of them were in the lab with Vegapunk when he was saying the details. He was saying about the devil fruits in Inception and the fact that the gum fruit isn't named, and so some people were there for that, and some people have seen. Some of them have seen how Luffy's powers work, and then like they're hearing like bits and pieces of information. But once the crew kind of like I get what you mean, like the crew pieces together that there's something up with Luffy. And even then, I don't even know if Oda's going to give us a satisfying reaction.
He won't. He won't. He never does.
They're going to be like, yeah, all right. Everybody in the
Yeah.
crew like, this guy?
Yeah, because they're gonna be like, yeah, it's just Luffy though. Like,
Yeah.
This guy ain't
We're
no
getting-
god.
We're getting 13 pages. Let's see what we get. My hopes are not that high. My expectations are not that high. I already ate with this chapter.
Yeah, at this point,
I'm
I'm just praying
excited.
the next chapter's a 7 out of 10. That's all I
Yeah.
need. All I need, because like after this, I'm like, I can't. How greedy can I
expect
be?
more?
How greedy can I
Facts.
be? Like, I need you to
Yeah.
match this energy
You
again.
can be like the first world. You could be like the first world.
Oh no, you think I'm a first worlder? I'm definitely a second worlder. Definitely a second worlder. I don't know what a third world is taking me
praying
yet.
to the sun god.
Praying to the sun god, fighting against the government, and then we lost. So, all But thank you guys again for joining on this stream. Really appreciate you two taking the time to join us on this lore piece journey.
Of course.
Definitely lasted longer than I think we expected, but honestly, with so much information, what could we do?
Yeah.
The fact that Stab and and Loki even fought this same chapter, and we haven't talked about that in about like an hour, it's crazy.
It wasn't really even a fight. It was just a. It was
a beat down.
It was a massacre. It was a great reveal. You know what I mean? And we haven't talked about that in mad long, but definitely a fire chapter. Thank you to everybody who came through the stream. Shout out to Shade becoming our first member on the YouTube channel. We really, really appreciate that. Shout out to Zah. Shout out to Sean for coming through on the stream. We see Marge said what up to you in the Instagram chat earlier before. She hit you with the whole government, the whole Matthew. So
well, that's crazy.
Hit you with the hello Matthew. So I don't know.
I told her, I was like, hey, I can't read chat, by the way. She goes, oh, okay.
Yeah, it was on IG. So shout out to Marge for coming through there. And shout out to everybody who watched on Twitch. Make sure you guys subscribe and follow Mel and Matt on all socials. We'll have that below in the description. So on that.